till the fourth.
There's always just that active and that defending. I think it's like. There's always just that active and that defending. I think it's like.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Man. Come on.
As Ian Wright just said there, people deluded, I'm back again. Now, above my head, as you lot can see, it's Atalanta against Bayern Leverkusen. It's the Europa League final. On the topic of finals, on Sunday, we'll be watching the Saturday, better yet. You know, don't roll up on Sunday. I know, you know, B-man timing and that, but there'd be an issue. On Saturday, apologies, we'll be watching the FA Cup final as well. But tonight, it's Atalanta. You know, I've said on my channel numerous times, I'm a big fan of Gasperini, big fan of Koopmeiners who's starting. The young Scalvini's not playing against Bayern Leverkusen, who are unbeaten. And to be fair with you, big up Atalanta, but I can't lie, it's a Bayern Leverkusen thing today. Granit Xhaka's there. I know fans will do that. Oh, you leave Arsenal, you start with the trophies. I can't lie, I saw that on Twitter. It burns, man. Like, it was a picture of like Nasri, Cesc, Xhaka now. Just about anyone who won anything in it. Robin van Persie, Henry with Barca. I know many people will run the jokes and whatnot, but I would love for Granit Xhaka to win today, man. Like, obviously, it's Granit Xhaka FC. I wish he never left Arsenal, really. Shout out to Wirtz. Wirtz is a player that's been impressing all season, and obviously going into the Euros, which we will be doing watch-alongs for. Gilmondo, the left back / they're kind of playing free at the back, the left wing back. He's been one of probably the best performing defender, fullback, arguably in Europe, or he's up there at least. Yeah, and obviously you've got Frimpong, who's been doing decent as well. So it should be an entertaining game for the neutrals. Now that I've said that, it's going to be meaty, man. Get your score predictions and all those good things in. Me personally, Europa League final. Unbeaten Leverkusen, in form Atalanta. Scamacca's even, you know, I'm not going to lie, football's a funny old game of opinions because he couldn't even get a game under David Moyes, and he's been doing his thing since he's returned back to Italy. Shout out Ademola Lookman, man, from, you know, almost not being a footballer because he got released and basically, and now he's playing in a European final. But I'm going to say Bayern Leverkusen 3-1 personally. You know, again, form goes out the window and whatnot, but I think they would probably be the bookmakers' favourite. They're unbeaten. I think they've, man for man, they've got a better 11. And as much as I'm saying, you know, I want Granit Xhaka to win because he's been here before and not obviously won the trophy. Shout out Kolasinac as well, really. It's just dawned on me, Kolasinac is there. Either way, Arsenal are leaving with something. You said we don't win European trophies. Cesc holding a Premier League title and the Chelsea kit cuts deep for me. I can't lie. It don't for me because I've always looked at these things on two sides. Obviously, you look at it from a fan's perspective and you never want to see these players go, much less the quote-unquote rivals. But from a young age, I've always kind of, and as much as I love Arsenal Football Club, you lot can see I'm quite neutral when it comes to talking about football and quite kind of level-headed in that regard. And I've always thought, what would I have done as a player? And, you know, they say in life, when someone shows you their behavior, leave them. You look at Cesc Fabregas, how he joined Arsenal. You know, you look at how he performed against Barcelona in the Champions League final and the stuff he was doing. You look at how he forced the move back to Barcelona as well. You're going to join Chelsea. And apparently, if there weren't offers, you know, whether, you know, Arsenal did offer, whether they didn't, you know, Wenger says one thing, he says another. Boy, you got one career to live. Chelsea's a big club. You won the Premier League, innit, amongst other trophies. So I've always understood people got to do what they want to do, but I haven't been upset about, obviously I've been disappointed, would have loved for players to stay. I haven't been disappointed with a player leaving since Thierry Henry. That broke all the emotions. I always say, like, I remember looking at the back of my neighbour's newspaper and like it was Thierry Henry doing kick-ups in whatever, you know, clothes he was wearing. That broke me because Thierry Henry was everything to me as a young Arsenal fan, man. Obviously there was Bergkamp, Vieira, all these guys, but like Thierry Henry, man, it's Henry, innit, really and truly. I used to lie to a gal in primary, say that's my uncle, shameless settings. But yeah, man, all my emotions went then, really. The last player, who's the last Arsenal player leaving I've actually been upset by? Like, he's not a player, but Wenger. You know, you know, you lot know I'm a big fan of Arsene Wenger, but I think even his most loyal supporter like myself could see, you know what, Grandad, you probably stayed beyond your, you know, your welcome. You lived long enough to become a villain, essentially, from an Arsenal perspective. And I've always said, where Wenger's concerned, I do think for all of the pros and cons towards the latter years of his time at Arsenal, I felt he couldn't quite separate what was good for the football club in his decisions and good for Arsene Wenger. It became intertwined a bit too much. Probably say him. Big up Ramsey. You know what? Probably either Aubameyang or Alexis. I say Alexis Sanchez because I was convinced he was going to bang for Man United. Thank the Lord. You know, I was convinced he was going to become mad. Although looking back in hindsight, when he joined them, it was in January, innit? When he joined them in January, his form was kind of rubby anyways, and City pulled away from the deal. So yeah, smash the like button, get your comments in. We're 3 minutes away from kickoff. Fabregas wasn't as deep as everyone made it out to be. The goal against us hurt, but looking back, it doesn't mean that much to me. Were you upset when Xhaka left? Nah, I wouldn't say upset. I didn't want him to leave, though. I was happy Granit Xhaka left, really, in those circumstances, because, as I said before, I was at the game at Crystal Palace where he threw the shirt and the fans were saying F you and things like that. And I've already said my opinions are, you know, everybody's wrong. Granit Xhaka and the fans, he's a human being and he's a passionate man. If you're swearing at him, of course he's going to swear back, especially because whatever you say about Granit Xhaka, I think he was one of those players that was blood in, blood out. He pulled it all in for the cause. He's someone that if you got into a fight with in a pub with some people, he's not running off. He's dying with you in it. So I can understand when you're living your profession, when you're training every day, and you know, let's be honest, Granit Xhaka was one of those. Thank the Lord, Mikel Arteta's got out of them days. Every fan base is going to have a scapegoat. Granit Xhaka was the scapegoat. Of course, if you've not played well, then question mark. Same way if you play well, praise. But sometimes he would, you know, like, especially the rise with social media, like if, you know, you say certain things, it gets a buzz, confirmation bias, people are moaning. Xhaka was a scapegoat, really. I don't think he was perfect at times. I definitely feel, you know, consistently looked a bit better under Mikel Arteta than Arsene Wenger, even though Wenger did say he was a box-to-box advanced midfielder and people at him at the time looked at him crazy, which begs the question, why was he kind of playing in that deeper role? And whatever you say, there's a reason where allegedly Arteta wanted him at City. Jose tried to buy him at Roma. He's played under some big coaches, Xabi Alonso. Like, he's got him playing mad. So there's got to be something decent about him. I reckon Atalanta could beat these lot. Well, it's a final. Anything can happen. Both the teams are in form. Both got some good little players there. I hope Leverkusen do it. But yeah, and it's going to be an interesting one, man. It looks like both teams are going to kind of cancel each other out with a back three and whatnot. It's kind of a bit of scouting. You know, I can't say number 17's name, but the Belgium lad, he was at AC Milan. It didn't work since he's gone to Atalanta. He's been doing his thing. Man said, yeah, my boy, he's doing his thing, man. You know what? Shed a tear for Aubameyang because I thought Aubameyang could have been playing in this if Marseille did their job or whatever it was. Or was it Conference League? Can't remember. See, he had easy matches at the end. There's no easy matches in the Prem, and they might have, but the glorious thing about the Premier League is everyone plays the same opponent twice. Everyone plays everyone twice, isn't it? So it is what it is, man. Now Bayern gonna win. Xabi got Illuminati ties. Mad thing, man. You're even mad, but I mean, I remember word to rants. I told, man, again, if you could go back long enough on my YouTube vids, I've been saying Xabi Alonso before you seen him in a tracksuit doing these training drills. He's going to be a lit gaffer. Lookman had a lit career, got to play in Bear Country. Had a great career, man. Big up Ademola Lookman from, you know, South London to this, really. It's wavy. These are the things. Well, I'm not going to sit and say he dreamed about Europa League, playing for Atalanta, but, you know, you dreamed of everyone that wanted to be a footballer wanted to play in these moments. And obviously, I had a couple of older friends that were in academies and whatnot. I remember growing up thinking, yo, I want to get them England youth call-ups, Arsenal scholarship. It's going to be lit. I'm going to drive past my school friends, say, oh, we lot on. Life was like, yeah, nah. Atalanta will kick off today, folks. Again, Europa League final business. And we've got kickoff. They've gone long straight away. I mean, if Atalanta win, then the Chelsea guy and Zappacosta wins this trophy. I am going to be kind of watching the centre half Hincapie very closely. Speaking of the Devils, Zappacosta puts in that's actually a decent ball forward to Scamacca. Two Bayern Leverkusen defenders have got their wires crossed, and here goes Atalanta down this right-hand side. Do you know what the saddest thing is, yeah? Big up my editor, but I'm waiting on my editor to bring out a thumbnail because I've actually got a video coming out on Coop Miners who's playing today. And then what videos was I working on today as well on top of that? There should be a Locatelli one coming out. Brian Brobley, Shameless. What else? Brian Brobley, the Benfica Neves. Couple still. We're always working, man. So smash the like button. I'm good, man. It's always good to watch football with you lot. Shout out the patience. I shout out Top Blue. I got Atalanta. They have more firepower. I hear that, and Skamaka's in good form, but could you argue Leverkusen got more collective quality? And they've been unbeaten, and it's not been like they've gone out there. They have thumped up teams, but they've not just gone out there and battered everybody and just ran off with it. There's been times they've had to snatch late draws, and my point of saying that is there's collective people who step up. Speaking of Leverkusen, that ball searching forward did not find the teammate. That could have been a promising move. I'm also going to watch Frimpong. I'm not convinced on him defensively, but all the other aspects, he's a good little player, man. Another one living the movie. Here goes Leverkusen's Verts. You're going to cost a lot of money, man. You should be at Arsenal Football Club, man. You're going to have a great Euros. You've bounced back from that crazy ACL. Tatsoba searching past for the man in question in Verts. It's here with Jeremy Frimpong, who probably won't be at Leverkusen. What's good, DG? How do you feel about us getting rid of the next Yaya Toure? Is that something? Are you asking me a question, or is that relation to Lokonga? Because just before I came online, at the side of my eye, I did see something in relation to Lokonga and Arsenal Football Club. Listen, nobody more than me would like to see a revitalization in Lokonga, because if you are the next Yaya Toure, then we've got another midfield option. But you had a chance, man. It's dead. Like you're not. It's not a thing where like you could see you're a 6, or you could see you're an 8. At least where Arsenal's concerned, probably better as an 8. I don't think you're tactically disciplined enough to play as a lone 6 or a 6 at all. But you're not Arsenal 8, if I'm honest with you. Coot Miners with a bit of defending for his team ensures Palacios doesn't get possession. Pardon me, DG, you taking a start in Lewis Hall. Where? For my club. You can be part of the squad. So Zinchenko thing, I'm sliding on it, man. Like, maybe he starts at United. I don't know. Who's United's left back? I don't know. Skamaka. This is a great 1-2 by Atalanta down this right-hand side. Hincapié at full stretch trying to stop this attacking move. And he's temporarily delayed the run. You're wavy. You have to try to say your name. No, I bottled it. Number 17, he used to play for AC Milan. I'm sure he's Belgium or something like that. Granit Xhaka. Adil. Verts is wavy, man. They got some great players. Granit Xhaka, look at him, bossing it. Brings it forward. I can't lie, I do miss that at Arsenal Football Club. I do miss that. Mikel Arteta, of course you don't watch my live streams, but please, can we sign a central midfielder? I know the talk is about strikers and you need a forward, and I definitely want a striker, but come on, man, we're so close to completing that midfield. Zini prop in 2024. You see, you're a nasty individual. Man said propaganda. But unpopular opinion, if Arsenal get a decent offer for Zini, I might shot that. But, and I'm speaking purely to Arsenal fans, I think there's a lot of scapegoat. I think he's a bit of a scapegoat. Yes, evident frailties defensively. But I knew people, I clocked people just don't like you beyond the footballing thing when we lost to Aston Villa, because you definitely made mistakes. But you go watch those 2 goals again. It's not a thing where Zini just lost the ball like he normally does and effed up. It's a collective bunch of errors from us. Verts to take this dead ball. Verts, I've been doing the propaganda, mate. Like, that weren't a good free kick, was it? DG, I've seen a lot of people change their tone on Rashford. Feels like fans are coming to him more and more. Would you take him yourself? It's a difficult one, bro. It's a difficult one because I do like Marcus Rashford. I do like the illusion of what he could be for Arsenal. I do like on paper what he is. I do think our manager Mikel Arteta could get a tune out of it. But I do think us Arsenal fans, Edison's fouled there. Another man who'd probably be on the move from Atalanta in the summer. I just think as much as Mikel Arteta is great, and you look at, obviously Odegaard's was more universal. Well, to be fair, when Odegaard signed for Arsenal the first 6 months, people weren't happy. But Odegaard, like, to the eyes, you can play football in it. I can't necessarily say that's the case with Kai Havertz. Like, he don't look pleasing per se on the eye. But Odegaard, Kai Havertz, even people like Saliba who searching ball for Lookman. Obviously, Saliba is obviously a very talented player. The dynamics are different, but the last 2 seasons have been great for Saliba, but his future looked a bit clouded. So Arteta has shown he can develop talents. That's a good bit of defensive play by Tatsoba, and that's a lovely searching ball forward. Probably too much zing on that for Verts, but it was. He's shown he can save people and whatnot. But at the same time, I think Arsenal fans are getting in this dangerous territory of just thinking, and forgive me, he's not a biblical figure, but like, he's not Jesus. Like, he's not going to turn, water to wine. Like, you can't save everyone in it. You don't want to be saved, or whatever J. Cole said. So I think there's a lot, but I just think I want a bit more. Listen, I love youth talent in it, or players that need a bit of, you know, arm around the shoulder. I'm a Wenger baby, but I want some more polished products at this football club. I just think he's on like 200, 300k a week. He is a left winger, but even when he has strong goal returns, you're never really convinced. So it's just too much investment for kind of clouded return. But I do like Rashford, man. I do think he's good. You know, he's probably disappointed not to go to the Euros. Another one who I think is getting scapegoated as well to a degree. Big up in the circle, like he said there, Rashford way too expensive fee and wages. And obviously it's not my money, so if he signed for us and he's lit, then who cares? But yeah, Rashford's one of those players that don't play for my club, but I like. Atalanta have a promising free kick. Now, not to spoil the Coop Miners video I've got coming out, but I've mentioned him from set pieces. And if I know that, Xavi Alonso and his technical staff know that. Coop Miners don't let me down. Even though I want Leverkusen to win, I want a decent ball into the box, and it's not a decent ball into the box. Spent like 2 hours making that video, you know. Half an hour on the audio alone, and that's how you're behaving. Okay, cool. Shout out 2-3. Rashford PR paragraphs for Arsenal. Only look at the points dropped when Zini played, just not worth it for what he provides. I think you're being harsh, but I agree with the last sentence. I don't think it's worth it anymore because, you know, if you ran into midfield and it's Toni Kroos, Luka Modric, then great. You're a very good player at what you do. Ademola Lookman's cut inside. What can he make happen here? Dribbles past one, dribbles past two. Not the best of passes to this left-hand side, but that's a good Atalanta ball into the box. And it's good defending, I believe, by Hincapie. Surely that's a corner. Scamacca did well. On another day, that's 1-0. That's, quite frankly, poor defending by the informed Leverkusen. To be fair, Hincapie just getting involved probably put Scamacca off. Shout out my guy Marcel, part of the furniture. Personally, if there was a player I'd want us to take from United, it'd be Sancho. Oh, you know what? Like in this mythical world where all the United players are available, Kobbie Mainoo. Kobbie Mainoo first, immediately. And you know who I'd actually say? Lisandro Martinez. Just because Arteta wanted him, I think you could be a little option. Obviously, United fans tried to gas him, tried to think he could talk to Gabriel and Saliba. Say what you want about my guys. They ain't gone to Anfield and held 7. I know my French centre-half got man of the match. The streets know that Gabriel should have been nominated for all them Premier League awards. Coop Miners conceded a foul, probably given his last warnings. Sancho over Mainoo. Listen, Sancho will be lit for Arsenal. You know, showing he can play on the right for Dortmund. Obviously, he's got a Champions League final, play on the left. He's from London and whatnot. But them, I don't want to get cancelled, but them kind of, anyone who's got friends like that, if you know, them guys are volatile, man. Kobbie Mainoo, get it? Solid, just going to do his job. Kobbie Mainoo next, Declan Rice, forget about it. So I would say Kobbie Mainoo first, Sancho second. No, cap. Kobbie Mainoo first, Lisandro Martinez second, Sancho third. United ain't really got much like that, innit, really? Of course, you're taking Casemiro and Varane if they were what they was probably 10 years ago or whatever, or prior to United, better yet. Other than that, you know what? I'll take Ramesh Højlund for the squad. Not really anyone else like that. Oh, Nana, you could be number 2 if Ramsdale wants to cut. Hopefully, we never see play. Atalanta, that's a ball from the centre-half. No, it's not. I'm shouting for no reason. Kobbie Mainoo in 2 years' time, maybe. Nah, man, Mainoo's got the temperament. I think United fans gassed him a bit. I think as United collectively fell flat towards the end of the season, naturally an 18-year-old, you know, playing in the Premier League is going to have a bit of a flat period, but he's a baller. Like, for me, he's just one of them guys that was them. Every now and again, you get them Foldens, and I'm not saying everyone's level than that, but like you look at the Foldens, the Sakas, the Maino's, these guys are the exceptions to the youth rule. They're just, the temperament is there. Like, he's ready for this. And to be honest, a lot of his Manchester United teammates should be embarrassed, because when I've done watch-alongs and watched things like that, you'd think Kobbie Mainoo has over 100 caps for the club and played in the champs and done this for his country and that. Quality player, man. Tatsoba. There's a lot of players on show that if you just typed their names in on Google are linked with clubs. As I said at the beginning, you know, I never lied to you lot. Both teams are cancelling each other out per se, not really holding on to possession. Surely you take Ten Hag. JC, you're moving mad. Take Ten Hag for what? Unless he's going to be giving case studies to upcoming managers in our club about how not to handle things, forget about it. There's nothing. You can't even give Ten Hag a job in the cafeteria. He's clearly bad for team harmony. He might not even have a job really. And even that, like you look at all the managers that could be on the market. In theory, Klopp's on the market. We know he's not going to take a job for the foreseeable future. Great play down the left-hand side by Edison. As I said, another one that could be on the move. But Ten Hag might get sacked. De Zerbi's cut. Tuchel's about. Hansi Flick is still about. Defo missing someone else. Pochettino is going to be linked with stuff. For a mascot, he's too grumpy for that. Man said he never knew Kolasinac is out here. Take Ten Hag for the 21s. And from a neutral point of view, of course, as an Arsenal fan, I love it. But from a neutral footballing point of view, quite disappointed in Erik Ten Hag. Like, he definitely lied on that CV to get that United job. It's an Atalanta corner here, people. What can Ademola Lookman produce from this? I'm not sure why De Zerbi left, but he cut. Maybe he feels he's reached the end of his cycle. And that's another thing I said on my stream. It's like a few months ago, and that De Zerbi, my hot take was De Zerbi was going to leave Brighton. And I only thought that because anytime he spoke to the press, he was very elusive about his future and about their ambition. It should be 1-0. It is 1-0. It's fantastic play from the initial right-hand side from Atalanta. Ademola Lookman, the guy from Peckham, has just put the ball in the back of the net in the Europa League final. Atalanta definitely not 10. Atalanta 1. Xabi Alonso's buying Leverkusen 0, and it's getting interesting here. It's getting very interesting. And that's one that Everton fans would probably have loved. Because Xabi Alonso obviously played for Liverpool, and obviously my man, the goal scorer, was at Everton. Hey, what? Coop Miner's down the right-hand side, you see? You see, I don't lie to you. Look, Coop Miner's heavily involved. Former Chelsea player Zappa Costa involved. It's a goal that's been scored by an Italian club by 2 former Premier League players. Again, both teams have not done well enough defensively. It's a great ball into the box by Zappa Costa, a sweeping attacking move, and an important finish by Ademola Lookman. Boy, I always say, I want early goals, I want carnage. And hopefully we get that. Shout out American Gooner, by the way, for subscribing with Amazon Prime. Shout out my Twitch ones. So yeah, boy, game on, people. I've seen the script. I mean, you can't get excited. As much as I want Leverkusen to win, I'm calm because these lot are on this comeback king stuff. Hincapie down the left-hand side. I think what both teams need to do is calm down. You know, Leverkusen, of course, you can't replicate a cup final. But remember, you've come back several times this season. There's a lot of football to be played. Coop Miners, quality player, man. I rate him. Quality baller. Pardon me. I think they spent 15 million on him from AZ Alkmaar. I'm not going to lie. Ain't see nothing eye-catching today. But I think there's a lot of parallels, which I'm not trying to spoil the video. It'll be out at some point this week. Quite similar in how he does things to Granit Xhaka. Now, today, obviously, you see him on the right-hand side. And Atalanta have picked Leverkusen's pocket here again. Edison. Hey, bank it. You're wearing my favourite number 13. Find Zappa Costa. Zappa Costa needs to remember he's a fullback. Ref, that's not a foul. Leverkusen are lucky there. Shout out, John. Post-league hangover. I mean, it all plays into my prediction, to be fair. Atalanta hold the 1-0 until the last 10. Then Leverkusen take 2 extra time. Then Atalanta shock everyone. Boy, that quick pass from Coop Miners, I take him at Arsenal. I reckon he's going to end up at either Juventus or Liverpool, man. If I'm completely honest with you lot. But just to show you lot, so you don't think I'm capping, like, there's just no thumbnail, but you can see video soon land in relation to that. Always working for you lot. If Kolasinac wins Europa, I don't know, bro. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Either him or Granit. Arsenal fans are going to catch strays. And to be fair, Xhaka made the right move in it. Yeah, this was another kind of lit season for Arsenal, but he's won the Bundesliga in a memorable season. And even that's downplaying it. Granit Xhaka. I don't think Leverkusen are out of this, but they need to hold on to the ball a lot better. They need to calm down, in my opinion. And maybe Xabi Alonso will probably change the system and tweak it at some point because these players are not on it. Saying that, Atalanta just gifted it back to Leverkusen. Granit Xhaka finds Hincapie. Hincapie, that's a good ball into a deal. Good defending by Atalanta at that point. That's poor. Edison. Game's been devoid. It's had a good tempo, but it's been devoid of quality. Tap Sober puts it out of touch. You think Leverkusen will replicate next year what they've done this season? unbeaten in that now, man. Come on. Respectfully, like, I mean, you never know. Football is a funny way, but it just feels like it's just one of those things that were written in the stars. I'm sure that should be the ambition, but who knows? You know, a couple of players probably going to leave. They're obviously going to have to inject some other players. I wouldn't say these players are not motivated, but it's hard to replicate that level of motivation. Granit Xhaka, oh, that is elite dark arts by Atalanta to foul thingy there, man. To foul a runner. Coop Miners and Xhaka getting into handbags. Guys, stop fighting. It's too narrow from Leverkusen. To a degree, looks like square pegs in round holes. Mate, Atalanta has been great and underrated this season. Bayern, Leverkusen better fix up. Anybody remember us being linked to Tar in the summer window a few years ago? He's linked with everyone, man. Tatsoba. He's another one who's kind of gone cold, but was linked with a lot of players. Palacios, Granit Xhaka sold Hincapie short. And that'll be a free kick to Atalanta. Atalanta weren't going to get the respect they deserve from outside because of the opposition they have today. I think from the neutrals, like, let's be honest, and I'm not saying I'm sitting here and watching. I have not watched every game Leverkusen have played this season, but you know, casual Bundesliga viewers, whether you watched all their games or not, because they were unbeaten, you can't not hear about that. You type in on Sky Sports or you just watch football, you go on Twitter, you're going to hear about that. But I think people sleeping on Atalanta. Of course, they ain't won their league. They ain't unbeaten. But what are they like? They were like fifth. I think there's a couple of games left in Serie A. Could be wrong. Technically, if Juventus drop points, they might even get fourth. You know, Gasperini's men have done well this season. And they've got their way to a European final, so no one can sleep on them. DG, my team, Portugal squad is stacked. We're winning the Euros. So you know what? Who is in the squad? Ronaldo's there, so you might not have a chance. Wait, who's the manager? So it's Roberto Martinez. Not too sure about that, Rude Bay. It might not happen. Let me see the squad. And it's about to be 1-1. Oh, Lord, Commando. I know you're left-footed, but come on, lad. Leverkusen, get the shot away, lad. Well, it has, and it's into the keeper's hand. Thought it was genuinely going to be 1-1. Who's in the squad? Antonio Silva, the young Benfica lad. Cancelo, Diaz. Well, to be fair, decent squad. Pedro Neto made it. Well, this ain't the full squad, innit? People have to get cut. It feels like someone's missing from that. Oh, yeah, that's it. Fabio Vieira. Shameless settings. Yeah, Martinez might stink it still. Well, Roberto Martinez, well, to be fair, Roberto Martinez has beaten Manchester City in an FA Cup final. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but yeah. I think if you're Atalanta, you don't want to force a second, but you want to kind of calm down, play some football, maybe get a second. At worst, if you're Xabi Alonso, you probably want to talk to your boys at half time. Because not playing poor, but not really doing the basics. Really struggling to keep possession. And they've given it away here. And Ademola Lookman, the first goal scorer, can he get on it again? He lays it off. And Skamaka will be hoping he hits the target. But that's the second decent chance that Skamaka's had. Alonso, 6 at the back, won't work today. Is João Felix playing? He's been selected for the Portugal squad. If that's what you're talking about. Obviously, he's not playing today. Verts. But once it gets into midfield, Leverkusen are just giving it straight back. There's a hole there, really and truly, if I'm honest. Frimpong looks uncomfortable in his role today. That's a great pass into Adil. Just as I said that. It's a poor pass from Adil, though. But now Tatsoba can keep it moving. Don't know what he tried to do there, but it didn't help. I love Granit, but tonight they need to hold this L. Gasperini has lost 3 finals already. Stress in it. And big him up for his motivation to keep going. Boy. I've also been watching Leverkusen, and they're not what it seems. What do you think they are? They concede a lot of goals, and the defending is not great, but lastly, their goals are very scrappy. Exactly, but to the casual viewer, once you hear unbeaten, I think it does have to be respected. But you think, ooh, don't care who wins, just enjoying the stream and chat. Big up DG in the nation. Inner circle, you're far too kind, and you're part of the furniture. Big up you lot. I do want to see more goals, though, man. There hasn't the game's not been flushed with quality. It's got a good tempo to it, but bar the goal, there's not been anything. Ademola Lookman to Edison. Decent little play, and that's a good pass. So far, Atalanta in the driving seat, folks. Coop Miners. What's going on here? Adamola Lookman. Don't know what that was from him. Frimpong. Can't keep it in play. What are your thoughts on Wirtz anyways? Great player, man. Quality player, man. Quality player. Could bounce back from his ACL injury, having a good season. Excited to see what he's got in store at the Euros. I think this season coming will probably be his last one at Leverkusen if he replicates stuff. You'd imagine, you know, such is life. You end up at Bayern Munich. It's forever linked with Real Madrid and anyone who's got deep enough pockets really to get it done. Leverkusen come alive in the second half. DG, they're going to need to. Granit and his midfield colleagues in the trenches. But to be fair to Atalanta, they're snapping at heels. They're not allowing Leverkusen to play. Hein concedes the fouls. Wirtz would be perfect for us. Wirtz or Musiala, DG. Some questions are very, very, very difficult. Musiala. Dream City, I can't pronounce his name, but the Atalanta captain, not happy to be booked there. Wirtz has been better than Musiala this year, that's true. But player for player, it's difficult, man. I do want to say Wirtz, like recency bias, I do want to say Wirtz, but I'll give it to Musiala, man. Kobe don't got that big game swagger like Saka. He's gonna freeze up. Nah, but I think he's got the temperament, and I mean he's 18 years of age, so there's probably times he probably is nervous and overawed, but he doesn't play like it. So sounds like a good player, man. Got a lot of time for Kobe Mainoo. United fans always gas up their players. That's one they're right about, in my opinion. So short taken set piece. Granit Xhaka, that was dead. That's one that if it comes off, it looks like a great executed dead ball situation from straight from the training ground today. It's a waste. Can't watch, but I know Atalanta got a serious coach. Gasperini. Did you hear Gallagher's take saying Klopp is better than Wenger? I mean, he's won the champs, he's won the Prem. Like, if people want to say that, great, but no. Respectfully, if we're talking manager, so that's everything. And yeah, trophies are one of those things. And take nothing away from what Jurgen Klopp's done. But if we're talking about who the better manager is, and we're considering trophies, we're breaking down what a coach is: philosophy, coaching, development, innovativity, all of these things. Yeah, all of these things. Then Wenger's better than him. Big up Jurgen Klopp because, you know, the high pressing, high intensity, he made that a hallmark. But when he was doing that, bare German dons were doing that. Wenger come and revolutionized the game. There's none of these guys foreign managers stepping foot in this game before Wenger. He's the first man through the door. Player for player. There's serious levels. Take nothing away from Jurgen Klopp. Look at who Wenger is. Look what Wenger has done across his career, man. Do you feel weird after not winning the title? It's like no one has won it. No. Because it's like I don't look at the league table, as I always say. No, on the serious note, no, because obviously you're a bit more optimistic, but I think when you're fighting against City, you have to prepare for disappointment naturally. You know, you've seen Liverpool get 90 plus points and not win it. So, you know, we was never probably going to do it with 89. So probably not. But I know what you mean in that. To be honest, if Arsenal don't win the league, I'd rather City because I don't know their fans. I know fans of all the other traditional top 6 or top 5 and Spurs. The ref has said play on here. To be honest with you, Leverkusen are making a big song and dance of every tackle they're getting. But at the same time, from an Atalanta perspective, that just shows aggression in how they're trying to play. Pardon me. Chelsea, Man U, Spurs next year are finished. They're going downhill. I think Chelsea could get back to being half decent a lot sooner rather than later. I think United could be in trouble. Spurs are Spurs, isn't it? Atalanta down this left-hand side. Frimpong up against Lookman. Lookman's cross isn't the best, and it did take a slight deflection into the grateful arms of the Leverkusen goalkeeper. 25 minutes in, Atalanta are winning a 0-0 today, folks. Man United, hey, big up Terry, where you been? Man United have practically signed a new starting 11 in the hope of making the champs, and we're nearer to mid-table than the Champions League. 8th is diabolical. Oh, that is wavy. That goal that Lookman just scored, That is what everybody dreams about scoring when they have ambitions as a young kid to be a footballer. You just nutmeg someone and caressed it into the near post. Atalanta 2, Leverkusen 0. Look at Ademola Lookman. That's straight from the Peckham cages. I see him do that yellow bit. And it all came from Leverkusen losing the ball. You give Ademola Lookman space, what's going to happen? Granit Xhaka got sent shot. Shh. It's a great finish. Eee. Oi, Ademola Lookman. That is, I swear he's left footed as well. I could be wrong. With his right peg as well. It could have, that camera angle shows a slight deflection, but it doesn't matter. And again, this is why I'm the best commentator on YouTube. What did I say? If you're Atalanta, you don't want to force it, but you ideally want to get a second. Some of you listen, and some of you hear. That's his 4th goal in 11 matches. So he's got 2 in 1 game, and you know, you could argue football, you know, goals are like buses or like girls. You got none, then you got one, then the whole world comes onto the guys. Boy, who? I swear someone said they were cheering on Leverkusen today. I'm not involved. Come on, Gasperini, shameless. Ademola Lookman, you've done so well. You're never going to get a free kick for that. The next goal is vital. The next goal is vital. Cliche, but we know if Atalanta can score a third, pretty much game, set, and match. If Leverkusen can at least half the deficit before half time, that's lit. I do think Xabi Alonso is going to have to change things because, again, Atalanta have their number. They're going man for man. They're aggressive in the pass. They're limiting what Leverkusen really and truly can do in terms of penetrative passes in the middle and final third. It's working. What chances have Leverkusen had inside 27 minutes? Atalanta have scored 2 goals, which is the most important thing to note, but they've also had some half chances as well. Boy. Verts. I think something needs to change, man. Like Frimpong doing this fake right winger thing is not banging. Haven't said anything about Gilmondo. Haven't said anything about Leverkusen's danger men out wide, really and truly. Cliche, but you're coming against an Italian side, regardless of what the form dictates. Like, you know they're going to be spot on. But for Atalanta, the work isn't done. Big up the Twitch mods. Boy. Yeah, Andrew, that's crazy, man. Xhaka got put in a blender, man. Boy. There's no need to do him that dirty. Frimpong, they've been gassing you. Granit Xhaka, that's not a Xhaka boom. That was a horrible effort. Fortunately, they still have the ball. Would you count Katyarabah FA Cup and 2nd place and a cheeky Champions League semi-finals a good season? Within context, I guess, but we want silverware, innit? Frimpong's put a ball into the box. To be fair, Atalanta made a bit of a mess of this. Kolasinac, you need to calm down. I don't think you did anything there with the foul, but maybe it was a bit too strong there. And Atalanta just have to keep their heads in the game, just keep doing what they're doing. Bundesliga is a transition league. There's barely tactical matchups. Atalanta as a tactical team will be tough for Leverkusen. Atalanta now just need to be defensively solid. And if they can keep doing that, then obviously, beyond the obvious, they're in the driving seat because Bayern Leverkusen are going to have to gamble. You know, they're going to have to at some point, not so much now because it's only 29 minutes on the clock, but naturally you're 2-0 down. No matter how, in the final, you're going to have to throw the kitchen sink at it. You do that, get exploited is peak. How many times have you seen a team, not necessarily Leverkusen today, but come 90 minutes, they'll lose this 3-1 versus where it is now 2-0. If you haven't subscribed or smashed the like button, make sure you're doing such. Twitch gang, if you've got Amazon Prime, subscribe. It helps the channel out. Big up you lot. Not said anything really and truly about Leverkusen in the final third. Verts can't string 2 passes together for like across the Bundesliga. Gilmondo, Granit Xhaka, Verts, and a lot, you know, Frimpong. Some very good players that look very good in the final third or in attacking sense. Nothing. Hey, DG Nation, come on. Leverkusen will have a late push, but this is sounding like the Liverpool game. Probably is. Again, it's a bit mad because the goals have been there. It's been a decent tactical matchup, but there's not been anything. Atalanta haven't been amazing, and I don't mean that in a foul way. They're just taking their chances. and they're playing with a bit more intensity and they're a bit more sharper. Leverkusen are struggling. As soon as they have the ball, they're giving it straight back. And in many ways, they're lucky it's not 3-0. And that might be about to change. Zappacosta, Skamaka can't get a touch on it. Had that shot have come off, who knows? Leverkusen have to offer something. But again, losing the ball cheaply. What is going on? Ademola Lookman, who's on a hat-trick. And you're still giving him bare space to cut in on his right foot. Skamaka got inspired. You ain't got the juice for that, man. Atalanta got their number. These man ain't no joke. They smoked us differently. Max it is, but I really dislike Xabi Alonso. You sound like a hater. Why? What did Xabi Alonso do to you? He's just doing his management thing. Leverkusen have had 1 attempt on target. Atalanta have had 3 and obviously scored 2. Hincapie, bro. These man are, boy, Xabi Alonso, it's all going down the toilet. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but really struggling to string some passes together. It's quite horrible. I don't know. Have Leverkusen got stage fright tonight? I'm not too sure. Alonso needs to come on, get his boots ready. To be fair, he does. I hate him. I like Xabi Alonso, man. Obviously, you know, you've been on, you know, in what is your first season of significance to the casual football fan. You've gone unbeaten and you're in a final. To be fair, unless you win a league title and champs and prems and these things again, it's very difficult to replicate that. As much as you can take nothing away from his players and from him, sometimes these things just happen in sport. Coop miners. And even the pressing from Leverkusen is dead. Shout out to Wirtz. He's trying, but it's dead. Tar up against Skamaka. Skamaka wins the header, but yeah. 1 more goal, and that's game, set, and match for Atalanta. Not going to lie, if I didn't have Arteta, I would take Xabi Alonso. Amen. Admire what Leverkusen are doing, but after that snide comment Frimpong made in celebration with Xhaka, I hope they lose. What did he say? I must have missed that. Xavi, hop off the sinking ship. Theatre awaits you. It's still too early to panic, guys. We know Leverkusen will score 3 goals in the last 3 minutes of the game. You never know. Xabi Alonso was a former Liverpool man. Them man love comebacks. You just never know. You can never write off anyone. Stranger things have happened. But yeah, Jeremy Frimpong does well to control the ball. Thought it was fouled there. Ref says play on. Hincapie driving forward. Coop might, ref, you're a snake. Ref, you're a snake. You snaked them. Finally, it looked like an encouraging bit of play from Leverkusen. The ref has said there's been a foul. Coop miners, you're lying, ref. Leverkusen get out of jail. Free card might be expired. I can't believe the ref has given a foul against Leverkusen there. Kolasinac. Skamaka, can he get there before Tar? Tar wins it. Leverkusen can't keep hold of it. He was at Arsenal. Look where he is now. Something like that. It was that one on the Insta Live, if I'm not wrong. Swear down, Frimpong, he said that. Interesting. Noted. Gilmondo, keeper, what are you doing? Okay. The Atalanta keepers, boy, on another day, he might have got lobbed. But fair enough to Mr. Musso. He knew what he was doing there. Ademola Lookman plays it into Skamaka. Skamaka does very well to ride the challenge of Tar and skip past Hincapie, and he's lost. Oh, you might be in trouble. You might be in trouble. Don't draw yourself out. You're a lucky lad. You got a yellow card. That looked like a very dangerous tackle as he just overran it and tried to keep possession. That looked very dangerous from Skamaka. Entitled to go for the ball. Maybe the camera angle, I'm overselling it to you guys. But that did look a bit mad. Wirtz isn't happy with it. Hey, man. It's a cup final. No one cares that you're the future of German football player. Better do them skills now. Very high. Very high. Needs to be careful. He tried to get Xhaka to clown on Arsenal. Xhaka was angry at him as well. Hope he bunched him up a little bit. Imagine if Pep decides to go invincible in his last season as City manager. You know, well, City got all the tools on paper to do that, but I don't think that will be the case because they challenge on all fronts. I personally think Pep's going to collect his 5th Premier League trophy in a row. That's him done. I think next season, Man City will come out. The 115 charges aren't coming to anything. Tatsoba is a lucky lad. Leverkusen need half time. 10 minutes to go until such. Wirtz, Hein having none of it. Need to see some drillings, Wirtz. You're a good player. Need to see something. They were telling me next Ozil. He's going invincible in the conference, God willing. No way this is where it ends for Leverkusen. For every tactical is a beautiful game to watch, DG. I hear that. Jeremy Frimpong. Aye, Kolasinac. I hear it now, you know. Maybe that's why a couple of tackles been a bit over aggressive on Frimpong, but I hear it. And again, for the Arsenal comments. Hincapie galloping forward. Wirtz. I need to see something, lads. Florian Wirtz. Granit Xhaka. Wirtz keep making that run. That's a lovely run. Oh, just too much on it from Granit Xhaka. Wirtz has got it all to be a player, man. Not on our watch. Listen, I hope Arsenal can win the league, innit? But like, and I know on paper there's other realities, but you need to be looking at 90 points as a minimum. Liverpool fans, Marcel's in the cut here as well. He'll point to, you know, there's been a couple times Liverpool have got 90 points, still weren't enough. So then do you look at 100 points? You know, what I would say for Arsenal is there's many things, even games we won, there's positives and there's things we could do better. All we can do is look at the 5 games that we lost, I believe 5 games, or better yet, how we lost, and just try to eradicate that. Because I wouldn't say you've got to be perfect, because perfection's an illusion, but you more or less have to be quite close to perfection to pip City to anything. DG, are you doing watch-alongs for the Euros? Graham, come on, man. You've been part of the furniture. You've been here long enough. But in case anyone didn't know, of course, corner kick to Leverkusen. That must be the first time I've said that today. Moyes absolutely wasted Scamacca from what I saw of him at West Ham. As I was saying earlier, it does look like such, but I guess in essence, football's a funny old game of opinions. One manager's trash is another one's treasure. Now, against an Italian side, you would imagine they're not going to give anything away from this corner, but Leverkusen have to make it count. It's a terrible ball into the box. Sums up the first half, really, for Leverkusen. Jeremy Frimpong. Hincapie. Puts it back into the box, aims for Tar. No chance. Right, Tar is strong. Throw in to Leverkusen. Scamacca didn't fit that playing style. Probably didn't, and I can't remember the platform, but Mick Antonio was talking about Scamacca. It might have been Filthy Fellas, and he was saying that obviously David Moyes is his manager, but he's like, he's an absolute player. He can't believe that he's not getting game time or he's not really playing. Atalanta on the counter attack, but there's only 3 blue and black shirts, and somehow Scamacca's been found here. Scamacca loses the ball. I don't really hate Kolasinac for his technical skills, but man's still a tank, that's for sure. But fighting Kolasinac is a myth. Arteta needs to learn that all he has to do is beat all the teams below the top 6, and that's 94 points, 93 guaranteed. I hear that, but like, there's 38 games. We say anything can happen in the Premier League. Anyone can beat anyone, and football's not won on paper. So even if Arsenal were to win the league, I don't expect us to go unbeaten and whatnot. I hope we can go unbeaten against the top 6 again, but I don't think that would be. I don't think so. It's just them 2 against Aston Villa, the 2 against Fulham, respectfully to Fulham and Villa. Atalanta's just getting into silly habits here, and they've lost it. I mean, to be fair, in the last 5 minutes, it's been a bit better from Leverkusen, still not enough. Forever big ups to Kolasinac for being Mesut's bodyguard. I hope Spurs end up with Potter, Southgate, Lampard, or Moyes. Boy, I hope they don't invest properly in the summer to finish, man. Beat all the teams is easier said than done. Amen. Like it's not wrong, but it's easier said than done. What I would say though is when Arsenal have dropped points, for me, anyways, bar the Manchester City away game, because we took some half chances, no matter one. People can say what they want about the draw. Apart from that, all the others we shot ourselves in the foot. Spurs at the Emirates, Chelsea away, the game at home to Fulham, let alone away from home. West Ham. Can't win them all, but there's things that we could have done better in that game. But just go again next year, innit? What more can I say? DJ, if somehow to up our chances of winning the league, would you sacrifice our Arteta ball and play diabolical park the bus football and win 1-0 all the time? I mean, it wouldn't be the best to watch, but in theory, if that would bring the Premier League trophy, then it is what it is, isn't it? Do what needs to be done. Shout yourself, James. I think we need to beat that Etihad curse. I mean, I want to get into a realm where we play Liverpool in particular at Anfield, and as you said there at the Etihad, and if we win, it's not amazing in the sense that we've shown we can do this. I think it comes down to I feel the majority of our squad are not at their finished product, like the core players, and they can go up the levels and they need to keep doing that. But I feel for the vast majority of the squad, we've kind of got more out of certain players than we could have, but ultimately they only get us to a certain point. So I just think we need more quality. Leverkusen could be in here, Frimpong, by himself. Where's his teammates? And I don't think the squad's big enough. You know, it goes over people's heads. Mikel Arteta said in February, March, we got one of the smallest squads. I don't want to hear that in your full fifth year. If I'm rating you for all the things you're doing and how you've assembled the team. And Arteta, to go with Edu and all these guys, they're clearly meticulous planners. So if they're coming out and saying that in February to the public, what were they saying privately? As I said, if I rate how, you know, we've got a good defense, we've got a good defensive outlook, set pieces, goals, varieties in playing, then if I'm rating you for this and the squad is small, there's an issue. And as much as last season was good, there's still unanswered questions, which makes us going for a league title quite unique in that, yes, you need more than one goal scorer. And in many ways, goals come up from all over, but there's unanswered questions. Saka's the only one that has shown he's got a proper catalogue of scoring double figures in this league. We're still talking about certain players being injured and using others. So we need to kind of eradicate them kind of things there if we want to be talking about new things. Skamaka. Good pass with the outside of his foot to a teammate. You might as well bang it. You might as well bang his peak. Could he have done better, Mr. 17? And again, what is going on from Leverkusen? And to be fair, Leverkusen have been saved there because Atalanta nicked the ball in a serious position and the refs had some questionable calls. Would be bitter for Leverkusen if they're unbeaten in all comps but lose 2 finals. It's life, innit, really? We're our company to buy, yeah. Look at that brother go. What do you mean here? I never said anything about overrating Emery. Sancho really won the battle against Ten Hag. It hurts me watching City dancing in the change rooms. It's what it is, man. Is what it is. Mourinho did all that for his Chelsea managerial career and it got him free prem, so part of the bus can work, but crowds also want to be entertained. It's give and take, can't have both. In the present day, though, take nothing away from Jose, because at that era, it was the right thing. And you have to be spot on defensively. People don't give City credit, and they all have got frailties, but statistically, they're quite spot on defensively. The same with Arsenal and any half decent side. But how many teams do you really see at the higher level just park the bus? Like their whole ethos is just parking the bus and just reacting to what the teammates, their rivals doing across the games. You don't really see that. That small squad talk from Mikel was a bit mad in all honesty. We have a huge squad, he just doesn't use it. And again, nobody's in that squad if Arteta doesn't rate them, but why are you not using them? Obviously, there's factors for why certain players don't play. There's injuries, there's form, there's, all other dynamics. But who's played the majority of the minutes? Personally, I believe there's probably 13 players max that are truly trusted in that squad. And they've shown they can do it for the vast majority of the season, especially when the games are coming thick and fast and all of that kind of stuff. But as we know, sometimes games don't go to plan. Sometimes you just need players to a bit of quality. You might be bad on the day. A team, you can just nick it. And we've shown on occasion. But 13-odd man squad, 13 trusted players, 38 games in the Premier League. I'm sure every fan of every club wants to go all the way in all the comps. So that's 38 games alone in the Prem, however many in the Champions League, God willing, however much in the league and FA Cup. It's not sustainable. And with that 13-odd, people get injured. People need rest. All these kind of things. Not dissing anyone in the squad, and some, the bulk of it is, as much as I think players need to be rotated and stuff, I do think fans overdo it because you need to play the same players and promote stability, and that's helped us for the last 2 years, really and truly. Fighting for people. It's still 2-0 to Atalanta, but really, off the top of my head, by default, Raya and Ramsdale, but we won't get into the goalies. Saliba, Gabriel, Benjamin White. Obviously, Saka, Odegaard, Declan Rice, Martinelli, Trossard, them kind of players. If anyone else I've skipped out. I think to a point, Zinni's trusted, Gabriel Jesus the same, Thomas Partey the same, Jorginho the same. But then you look at the Nketiahs, the Fabio Vieiras, currently Reece Nelson, Smith Rowe. It's a gambling thing. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only Arsenal fan that was absolutely shocked to see Smith Rowe come off the bench against Everton. Granit Xhaka, speaking of Arsenal people, the former Arsenal man's tried to find the target from range and he's not got anywhere near it. I think Arsenal were one injury away from a crisis. If one of those centre-backs were injured, we would have been done for, especially if Tommy and Timber injury issues. I mean, big up to us for keeping the players fit. It's a weird one, though, because like there's certain elements from last season, or two elements in particular, from three elements from last season, well, the season before the one that's just gone, that I would have loved to have brought into this club. I would say the first would have been Granit Xhaka, you know, because who knows, a fit Granit Xhaka, maybe Havertz plays up front all the time and we do what we're doing. A fit Thomas Partey would have obviously helped us. So Timber as well, but I wasn't going to say that. And I feel like last season, I might be a hypocrite because I ain't got last season's results to hand people, but it felt like when we lost the game 1 week, the next week we're back at it. We didn't really have that December kind of period, which, you know, the Aston Villa game this year will be the one that we're like, oh, what's going on? You know, because it is the, you know, that Aston Villa defeat in 2024 will be, you know, what sells the movie of Arsenal versus City's title challenge this year. But let's be real. That is one loss in 2024 towards the tail end of last year. That's one loss. Ridiculous from us versus the December. So when you get away from all that, where was the damage done? Don't forget, even myself, one thing that even adds more drama to 2024 when we're clearing out fans at halftime, scoring all these goals, you know, not losing against our rivals per se, one loss against Villa, is because we went to Dubai and, you know, the players got to relax and whatnot off the back of that December period. It's halftime, people. You can see above my head, it is 2-0 to Atalanta currently against Leverkusen. So, yeah, but that's all ifs and buts. Reality is that's not the case, innit? Alonso going to shower the whole squad with cow blood and they'll come back. You're a madman. If we kept Xhaka and Partey fit, I think we win the league, but we move. I don't think it's quite as white and black as that, but I definitely think we've got a chance, man. But even that, I love Thomas Partey as a footballer, but I'm past that. Like, we have to accept what you are now. Was last season an anomaly? Because there has to be a correlation. Well, we're still fighting for the title, and to be this year, that's just gone. And to be fair, he did come in and do well, but you know, there has to be a correlation with Thomas Partey being fit and us having a real good go of the league the season before the one that's just gone. But was that an anomaly? Because I don't know why I can remember this, but I'm sure Partey was available for 33 Premier League games this season before the one that's just gone, and 40 in all comps. That's unheard of. I love Tomiyasu. I think he's a vital squad player for us as well. But we're saying the same things. And when you've got a small squad, and, you know, I love Jorginho, but he picks up knocks. Zinni picks up knocks. Nelson picks up knocks. Fabio's been on the treatment table. Gabriel Jesus can't stay fit really and truly at this moment in time. It's a bit different, but Timber, ACL written off before the man even get going at Arsenal Football Club. So in many ways, it's kind of sick that with all of these things I'm talking about, we still fought for a league title, but these are the naiveties, or better yet, these are the talking points I don't want to talk about next season. Because if we keep saying the same things, how are we going to do new stuff? Havertz in midfield, first half of the season was a meaty move by Arteta. It was. I think when we bought him, we liked his versatility, his physicality, the fact that he could play up front and centre mid. But let's be honest, like, obviously, fate has a funny thing, but it was circumstantial. A lot of our players lost form, people were injured. Kai Havertz has the ability to go up front. He went up front. He looked better up front. He tried to make him the Xhaka replacement. It did not bang. We need to sort out that midfield. And I said it at the start of August last year. I didn't expect to see us do what we did. But until we sort out that midfield, I don't think we can win a league title. I think we have to pay much respect to City when we played them, Liverpool and Chelsea. When we played them, Liverpool and Chelsea, we go for it. Xavi fraud tactic, Frimpong right wing. It's like he's like this inverted right wing, right back forward. It's not working. What we was doing in training that left our players that fragile needs to be investigated. It might not even be that. It might be recovery. It could even be players looking after themselves a bit better. It could. Sometimes these things can just be luck. You know, injuries can happen at any point with these footballers. You know, fortunately, it hasn't happened now. But do you not remember a few years ago, you would be minding your business at school, at work, college, whatever you lot are doing. And you might go online and hear ex-Arsenal player injured in training. Like, what's going on there? We do need another top midfielder for sure, with both Partey and Jorginho past 30. I think they bring one in this year. I think ideally the club move on Partey. Jorginho's there for another year, or could keep Partey. But I think one midfielder in, That's Partey's kind of replacement. Jorginho, slightly more reduced role this season because I think we played him more this year than Arteta would have liked for his quality. Next season, another centre mid. So yeah, 2 centre mids. We've kind of rebuilt collectively with Declan Rice. Was Laka better for us than Jesus? We won the FA Cup with Laka and got Europa Cup final. Same level, really. Definitely agree, DG. We need a midfielder to replace Partey long term. I'd take Bruno from Newcastle, not going to lie. Also, that Sudakov from Shakhtar looks proper. And what I've seen, Sudakov looks good, but I don't know enough about him to have an informed opinion. But, you know, Ukraine do develop some talents. Who wouldn't want Bruno Gomares? I'm sure some of you. But, yeah, man. Atalanta look like the unbeaten team. I hear that. They just look like the more competent team. They're doing better in the final third. They're defending better. They're holding on to possession better. This is how you win and lose football games. Tomiyasu was one of our best players against Everton. Yes, he was. And big him up for scoring, even without the goal. You need to be a BBC sport commentator or analyst. Love you, DG. How do you get to doing that, though, man? That would be nice. It would be fun. Why not? Another bow to my arrow. A lot of you say that, and this actually keeps the guy going, man. Thank you for your kind words. Damage was done in the Fulham games. Yeah, because I think the 2 Fulham games are kind of how we lost games last season in that, well, I'm lying a bit because away from home, the only thing I can really criticize with Fulham away beyond the obvious is we took the lead, but that game was the worst. I think that's the worst we played in the Premier League. There's 0 positives, 0. You know, I can find some sort of positives in some other defeats that we've had this season or drop points. Fulham away, worst performance. Shot ourselves in the foot. People get at Zinchenko and he gave away the free kick and whatnot. I mean, the set piece. But then as much as I praise Arteta, indirectly, you know what these players are like. So if we're fighting for a league and these players have been doing these things in their lives for years, what's going to happen there? And I think people scapegoat Zinchenko because they'll remember him giving away the set piece. They won't forget. They will forget that we actually let a 10-man Fulham side get something out of that game, really, after, somewhat finding the goals. And people will let Ramsdale and Saka away with murder. I'm not saying to pinpoint the blame anywhere. It's a lot of blames. It's an unpopular opinion. I would say for me, do you know what? Out of all our defeats, Fulham away by default. But I actually think West Ham at home, I was thinking about it yesterday. I actually think West Ham at home would be the one that peed me off the most, just because that was one that felt like Arsene Wenger's Arsenal during the Emirates era, in that bare possession, bare chances. The other team get 2 chances. That's the narrative done. But to be fair, it happened against Aston Villa as well. Ask your man Righty, he'll put a word in DG for match today. Big up Righty, but I don't love like that. Do you think we have a chance of getting Kimmich in the summer? You've got a chance of anything in life, but I just think Kimmich is probably it's like linking anyone with, it's like when we're linked with Locatelli. You could get these players, but these guys have Euros to concern about. Some players probably want to move before the Euros, but some after. And also, you look at Bayern Munich and Juventus. Allegri's gone, Tuchel's gone. A lot of the rumors with Kimmich away, like when he was linked to Arsenal, when you was reading it, it was morely based out of the fact that he's linked with Barcelona, he's contracted until 2025, so he might want to cut. But a lot of it was he's kind of not seeing eye to eye with Thomas Tuchel, a bit like Locatelli with Allegri, allegedly. So if you're them, would you not wait for the new manager to come in to at least have a conversation? How do you see me in your team, etc.? If he says I don't want to use you, then cool. Maybe one of them just wants to leave their clubs elsewhere, but I don't think they'll do anything. And even if, like today, 2 departed managers, today Arsenal put an acceptable bid in for Kimmich or Locatelli, Juventus, at the end of the day, they might accept it because a lot of these decisions are above the manager to a slight point at times. But would you really accept anything not knowing who your manager is or not listening? That Aston Villa defeat hurt the most. Most frustrating game away from the defeats, Spurs. Spurs and Chelsea, because Spurs, we should have killed them in the first 10 minutes. 2 stupid mistakes, they're back. Chelsea, because we're kind of fortunate the first 45 minutes, more goals didn't go in, and the first hour was horrible. I don't think you can pinpoint a certain game because they all left us in the same situation. We could have won any of them, bagged the league, Villa, Chelsea, Newcastle, Villa, and there you have it. And that's what I mean by, without getting into it with the teams, the players just have to go back through the circumstances that led to where we drop points. And we will drop points next season. We're not going to get, whatever the maths is, around 38 games. As much as I love it, that's not how football works. See where it went wrong. PC Arsenal get into the Champions League final with Arteta. We look second best to the Giants in the Champions League. I hope we can bring elite players in now. I think for Arsenal, we're just going to, at best, we have to kind of do what Borussia Dortmund did, innit? You just have to hope for one of them stories. I don't think we're ready to be in Champions League finals. I think we gave a good account of ourselves in the champs, but you kind of, not that we're City, but there was a point where City were dominating the Premier League and they kind of looked out of sorts in the champs. I think in the Champions League, we look like people that are in this for the first time. And I think the Champions League just comes down to quality and moments. And what I mean by that is I'm not dissing my players, but you need the players with the stardust. Look at Real Madrid. You know, they're never really the best team across 90 minutes or 180 minutes, but they win the trophies because they know they're going to get moments and they're going to take them. And boy, don't know what the Real Madrid game would have been saying for us, but I do think the Champions League, give or take, was a missed opportunity for Arsenal, purely because on the face of it, people can say what they want about Dortmund's form. You can see the level of class between the teams and how good they are. But Dortmund, Bayern Munich. But I just feel like if this first leg didn't go that way, second leg didn't go that way, I thought we could have advanced, didn't it? Like, I don't think we was outclassed and we just have to hold our hands up and whatnot. We always get linked to big names and end up with players we don't expect. I bet we end up with Cancelo, Grealish, Stones, Gibbs White and Solanke. Boy, 30 video for DG in the future. I'm sure a latest news show must have come out from myself. I think we've been relinked with him as well. We actually look. It's difficult trying to run a YouTube channel, folks. Smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't. Where have we? Surely it came out. All right, cool. It did. How do you think we'll cope with the new Champions League format? Boy, I know it's too early to say, but do you think it could be more difficult for us? Ain't it more games? Forgive me if I'm wrong. So that could be a thing. I don't think this team is mentally ready for the Bernabeu this season. Honestly, would have been a shock. It would have, and to be fair, like Saliba's like man of the match. What at the Etihad, shameless, but White Hart Lane, Anfield. He can hold his own in the Premier, shown that for the last 2 years. Saliba against Bayern Munich, without making glaringly obvious mistakes, he looked a bit, even against Porto, really and truly, he looked a bit out of sorts. So there are psychological factors. That's why, like, you know, you look back to 2006, unfortunately it didn't end the way I wanted, but what actually, beyond the obvious moments, one of my happiest moments supporting this club, we done the underdog thing and we made it happen. We're gonna need a Dortmund kind of story. Anyone can beat anyone on the day and all that stuff, but Champions League's like winning the lottery, man. Don't you think Jorginho was a pretty controversial transfer? For me, no. For Arsenal, no. I think, without being disrespectful to anyone, I think for the casual football fan, yes, because I think people look at Jorginho at the time, Chelsea reject. You know, respectfully to Jorginho, you can't be going from being linked with someone for 100 odd million quid in Caicedo and then 12 million Jorginho. It's a bit of a come down, but I said it at the time. I'm sure if you go about on YouTube and look at it, it's like Jorginho has his obvious frailties, which we've seen, but there's a lot of qualities, and I think he's worked out fine, and I think he's done what he's paid for. I think our 2 signings in January last year worked out all right, or the Premier League ones. Big up Kiwior as well for coming in as well. Why? So yeah, really, Jorginho's proved to be a good stopgap signing, really, but what you get is what you pay for, really. And I genuinely think we've had to overuse him. DG, make a video why you would be the perfect signing for us. No, I wouldn't, not from a playing perspective, but in terms of content, interviews, all that, great, we might. But yeah, I don't think it was controversial. And as I said, out of all the players we've bought from Chelsea or got from Chelsea, William Gallas, Lassana Diarra was here for about 6 months. Quality player, but yeah, it didn't work here. You know, Petr Cech, respectfully. William, oh Lord, who else has there been? Kai Havertz, who's bust case now. Jorginho's been one of the better ones, really. The only thing Jorginho doesn't provide, unfortunately, is longevity, because he's on the wrong side of 30. We don't mention Gallas, DG, amen. We lost to Bayern because we didn't have that killer instinct in the first leg when we were battering them one up. And second leg, Martinelli, Mark and Kimmich mismatch. Exactly. But the first leg, and to be honest, under Mikel Arteta, that's where the damage has been done in European clashes, going back to the Europa League. And that's where I think, I don't quite agree with me saying that we was emotional, but on hindsight, in the first leg, we started great, you know, like the start and the end was quite decent, and other moments. it's, you know, the stupid mistake and things, and you can't do that in the Champions League. You can get away with certain things in the Prem. You know, Raya obviously against against Spurs, against with Partey, sorry, against Spurs, and what's the other one? Someone scored a crazy goal at Mudrik's. And there's been other mistakes made. Saliba's made mistakes. Everyone's made mistakes. You can't get away with that in the champs. David Luiz was something else. Completely forgot. You know what? Again, another one. With these players, you get what you pay for. They're going to do mad things. But David Luiz a better signing than given credit for, in my opinion. And I know for a fact he's very good with the young players. Everything about the Gallas transfer was wrong. Still can't believe he gave him the 10. I'm not going to lie. Hate's a strong word. I don't like to say that. But if you could place the hate tag on a footballer that's played for my football club, without a doubt, for me personally, it's William Gallas. The way you conducted yourself, your permed hair, you wearing the number 10, you sitting on the floor at the halfway line. You know, there's so much to hate about. You know, he's a mercenary. Like, I look. Sorry, people. Let me get my drink. I look at a couple of players from other countries in Europe, yeah, and what I've noticed in football is the Dutch. And we're talking football before anyone tries to do that cancelling thing. The Dutch players and the French players can be mercenaries and very outspoken, as can anyone. It's a bit mad because Atalanta are 2 up and they're bringing on my guy, the young Scalvini. Kalajinac has been hooked. I don't blame it. Kalajinac is vexed. Gasperini, hopefully he leaves you alone. You say you're an old man, but Kalajinac is someone you don't want to pee off. I say that much. I've got to rush him. Second half soon kick off, people. Appreciate you lots talking points and everything else. Make sure you're subscribing and keep them flowing, man. Not sure why the ref is delaying. Okay, we're back. Somehow Leverkusen have to do Mission Impossible. Comeback Kusin is on. Forget Caicedo. We got a player worth every penny. I knew Caicedo wasn't going anywhere near Declan's class. I bet Chelsea fans would swap Declan for Caicedo in a heartbeat. Caicedo is just above average. Harsh. I do think you have to credit De Zerbi. You have to credit the system. I do think he's quite limited on the ball. But I think Caicedo's a player, man. I'm not too sure how. I've said it before. I would have loved it, but I'm not too sure how I would have felt Caicedo and Rice in the pivot. And you could argue, had we have got Caicedo in January, do we get Declan Rice in the summer? Or would we have got both? We'll never know, really and truly. Who knows? Give it 12 months. Do our little Chelsea shopping. Arteta will change him. Evening, DG. I notice you have great views to like ratio. Solid community you got. I'm trying, man. Appreciate that, man. Every like, every comment, all these things boosts the YouTube algorithm. Hincapie. I think he's a good player, but I don't see the hype. My opinion's open to being proved wrong. Good player, nothing else. Right, did Leverkusen bring on Boniface? Fair enough. DG, if Leverkusen don't manage and should be a sheer miracle, Dortmund win next weekend. I can't lie, Dortmund would be a sensational club, would be the sensational club of the year. I've got my Dortmund training shirt ready. Kareem Adeyemi video ready. Granit Xhaka fouled by Edison. Caicedo looks decent recently. Think half his issues was that Chelsea's midfield being unbalanced. Chelsea are messing it realistically, and I think that's one tax you have to give to every player. If everybody looks rubbish, pardon me, something's going wrong because I don't want to praise Chelsea, and I've said it before, and I actually think if they get things right, they could fight. They could get Champions League next year. It's not a bad crop of players. Like if Chelsea was to dissolve as a football club, Boniface with a ball searching forward. Sorry, folks, but yeah, if Chelsea were to dissolve as a football club, there's a lot of players that wouldn't be short of offers. Like I would have Caicedo on the squad. I'd have Enzo. I'd have Cole Palmer. For you, Arteta Mudryk, you got to show me something because Chelsea looking mad. People would take Sterling. A fit Reece James Fofana. Chilwell will find himself somewhere okay. Cucurella as well, even though I don't rate him. And you get the point. But everyone's looked dead. And to be fair, there's been many times we've done Chelsea watch-alongs and you've got over £200 million midfield in two of the South Americans in Enzo and Caicedo, and Conor Gallagher, nothing to write home about, has looked better than them. Just popped in, about to take a nap. Shout yourself, Tasha. Sasha, apologies. 2-0 down. Yeah, Ademola Lookman with a brace. The second goal was a thing of beauty. I can't lie to you. And I'm sure for the first one, if I can remember correctly, Granit Xhaka got sent to the shops. Got absolutely destroyed. Scalvini is playing DG. For me, the most talented young defender in Europe. What's your thoughts on him? I'm not too sure for the most talented defender, but I like him. I think, you know, you got to slow cook him, but the next one of them Italian defenders, isn't it? Would you take a sniff at Chilwell? Homegrown squad effort, man. Why not? Emphasis on squad. Gallas had no shame, played for Spurs. To talk about hanging on for dear life to a moody career. That says everything. Not only did he play for Chelsea, Arsenal, but Spurs as well. Dodgy guy. Ademola Lookman. Oh, you need to look up, man. That could have been the killer blow. The ref fell over. Florian Wirtz being fouled by Edison. This guy's lit, man. Wirtz is going to be a player. Coop Miners just outmuscles him. Surely that's a free kick for Wirtz. And I don't blame him for being frustrated. Coop Miners, he's found himself on this left-hand side, made a forward run, plays a 1-2 with Ademola Lookman. It should be 3-0. If it wasn't for Bayern Leverkusen's Hincapie, one of the very few players for Leverkusen that's been switched on today, that is 3-0. 2 Atalanta players waiting at the back post. I don't want to see Zinni next year cost us against Liverpool last year and cost us again against Aston Villa. That's harsh though, man. Like, I hear it, but all of these players have made mistakes, some more than others. Arteta's made mistakes. We've all, you know, we've all cost each other. Because even where you look at Zinni's mistakes across the 90 minutes, if you could tell me that we did everything we could have done to our highest standard, I'll say fair enough. But clearly we didn't. Come on, man. Where's the team? We need to have the team aspect around this stuff. But I do want Zinni to be an emphasis on the squad player. Can Ademola Lookman put a decent ball into the box? Yes, he can. It's defended well by Leverkusen on this occasion. I hope we see a better Gabby if we left-hand side Odegaard type of player in the pocket. That left-hand side is weak. I just want us to sign a central midfielder, man. Like, every day I ask myself the same question. If Mikel Arteta, not that he would, but he said, you know what, DG, we'll spend over 100 million on a striker, or we'll get you whatever midfielder your heart desires, whoever that is, or one of the more expensive ones. I'll probably do that. Good defending by Edison. That can't have been easy, keeping up in the foot race with Frimpong. Just to get a touch to that as well. Corner kick to Leverkusen. Rice, De Jong, Odegaard. I like De Jong, but I just feel the only criticism I would have of you is, I'm not saying you haven't got mentality, but I don't think you've got that Declan Rice dog in you, like that Declan Rice making a difference against United, you know, standing up to be counted against Liverpool where he's defending against 20 Liverpool players. I know he's not that type of midfielder, but I just think you're one of them that will succumb to the inevitable. That you're soft. We need a couple dogs in the team, man. In my opinion, that Martinelli cameo against Everton was low-key sad. We go again, man. We go again, Martinelli. We go again. What about Bruno? Do you know what? I think De Jong would be a better fit, and I think he's a better central midfielder, but I'd prefer Gamara's out of the two just because he can do what De Jong does, and he's got that South American. I'm not taking bad up. Like, I miss Granit Xhaka's profile in my Arsenal team for so many reasons. Leverkusen have a free kick here. Gilmondo, who's been a bit silent today, and just sums up his evening, innit, with that level of delivery into the box. You would think Atalanta are 2 goals down. They're first to everything. Lookman's done very well to retain possession for his side. DG, who are your top 3 midfield targets in order? Order's a difficult one. Order's a difficult one, but I would love Bruno Guimaraes. I wouldn't mind Mr. Coop Miners, who's playing right now. Big fan of Zubimendi, even though I think there's some concerns. We're not going to get Douglas Luiz, but I do think, you know, he would actually be a good option for us. Can't see us getting De Jong, but yeah. De Jong is soft, man. Sorry, I don't need another softie. I still don't see why the majority of our fan base is against Bruno. Odegaard, Rice, and Bruno would be a generational midfield because of how he acted against us, innit? But that's what you need. I always say, and I'm not saying to sign Bruno Guimaraes. Fantastic play by Leverkusen, the final ball, curse of the commentator. Who in the Invincibles was nice? Yeah, I'm sure they're nice guys. They'll take pictures and sign autographs for little kids. They'll help little old ladies across the street. They'll help your mum with the shopping. But isolated in there, who from the Invincibles was nice? Who from the United teams were nice? Who from the Chelsea teams were nice? The days changed. But there's a lot of players at Liverpool that you hate. You know, nobody likes Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Same with the City players. You know, we've got, I would say, 2, and it's not the same, but I would say 2 in that. Ooh, Hinkapie. Oh, you know what? I see the hype now. I like you. You know, I take back what I said. You're getting the video. That was a serious tackle. Leverkusen's tap sober. Finds Frimpong. Completely forgot what I was talking about there. But yeah, that's what I was saying. I think nasty players at Arsenal. I actually think Saliba is, but in an elegant way. But I would say Kai Havertz, Benjamin White, probably Gabriel. Ramsdale has it, but he's not playing and he doesn't really know how to control it per se. But yeah, I'd love Bruno Guimaraes at the club, man. But like, I'm not criticizing Arsenal fans, but we like to overdo this touch of class and all of these kind of things. We need some dogs, man, in a nice way. I wouldn't mind Bruno, Rice, Odegaard. Bro, if we had Bruno, Guimaraes, Rice, and Odegaard and just, you know, party for another year just for depth with Jorginho as well, forget about it. Forget it. Midfield is sorted. Tatsoba of Leverkusen. We're gone. Danny Almo will be great for us. If we could tolerate Xhaka for 7 years, getting himself sent off majority of the time, we can deal with Bruno having in our squad. But you just got to pattern it. Emerson for Atalanta looks like he's a capable number 6 who can do everything. A lot to like about him. He's had a great season. Just goes to show there are gems playing for unfashionable teams. You're right, Gary. But people actually have to watch football. And half of these players, everybody's got to start somewhere, innit? Because people always say people always say, oh, you know, don't buy this player or don't, this guy's unknown. But everyone's got to start somewhere. Half of these players have to be bought from somewhere. You're damn right. And of course, he was nice. Lomberg weren't that nice. He knew how to be a scumbag and take a tumble like Perez. But again, like for the group, not everyone has to be like that. But if you've got a 20-man squad and 14 in their own way are like that, then cool. You can have some soft youths in the squad. Not saying my team is soft. Thoughts on Diamande and Hato. Like them both. If you could get Hato, get it done tomorrow. Diamande the same, really. Gabriel has that mentality more than Saliba. You're right. But Saliba's is more finesse. It's like, I'm strong. I'm good looking. I'm a good footballer. Like, you try and do that, I'll do it back to you. Gabriel's more ferocious with it. People have to actually watch football. Quote of the year. DG spot on. Shout out to yourself, Chris, man. Appreciate the comments. Love for the super chat, my dude. The discourse on Arteta is wild. People either think he's Jesus Christ or terrible. I think he's good, but he has to start winning trophies. Brian, again, appreciate the super chat. And you said it there. There's no balance. Like, there's too many vested interests. For me, I like Arteta. I think there's more pros to him being at Arsenal than cons, but there's evident question marks and things you can improve on. If someone could show me a manager that is more assured to win trophies and does this philosophy thing and does what Arteta does better to a better standard, then in the same way Mikel Arteta, there was no real reason to get rid of Ramsdale, not criticizing it. He upgraded and made unpopular decisions. That's what we've got to do. And who knows, keeping Mikel Arteta might not guarantee anything. You know, getting rid of him might not. And I'm not saying we shouldn't try to do anything or persist with him or whatnot. I just think sometimes for fans, it's okay to say, I don't know. Let's just see how it plays out. I do think it is getting to time for Arteta to start winning some trophies, man. Like Premier League, I'm talking about major trophies as well. Premier League, it's a difficult one because it was kind of in Arsenal's hand and certain things happened. It weren't like City. City are better than us. They were top. They are better than us. But it wasn't a thing where anything City did had an impact. Indirectly, it did, like them beating Spurs, but we didn't do certain things. But at the same time, we talk about how generational City are and the money and all of this. So how do you kind of want it, really? It's kind of unfair for Arteta in that regards. But the man himself, you know, some like to go with the Arteta sexuals, some of them sound like serial losers. Arteta himself is not sounding like them. He's saying, last game of the season, we will be up there. We do want to win. We want to do this. We want to do that. He's talking with chest. I would say I don't doubt Mikel Arteta's ambition, you know, for all his faults or good things. But I'd say for the club, we're at that stage now where like the project is projecting. Like, I'm not saying money's the way out of it, but we're here. It's like there will be some natural regression to a degree, but we're here. It's like, do we want to force it a bit? Granit Xhaka's ball forward hasn't quite happened, people. You lot in the chat are doing a lot better than Leverkusen, mate. I agree. We're getting closer, but it's time to get over the line and actually win something. I'm not saying people would have been cool with an FA Cup final, but people might have said, you know, gave ourselves a good account of ourselves in the champs, fought for the league against City, win an FA Cup. It's not going to change anything, but he might allow it. But Arteta's clearly not satisfied, man. Like, if you was Arteta, would you be satisfied? Back-to-back eighth, the Aubameyang stuff, Xhaka leaving, everybody questioning. Naturally, it's football. Everybody questioning your decisions and then praising you. People questioning your signing and then praising you. You've gone through so much. You know, he's probably not... Arsenal fans and Arsenal's one thing. Think about how much time his family, his kids, his young kids are deprived of their dad because he's evidently bringing his work home. You want to go through all that not to win trophies? Man, I spent 65 million on Kai Havertz, 105 million on Declan Rice. Got the fan that the atmosphere somewhat back. You know, just a few years ago, it was every player's crap, and you know, some fans would cheer, some would boo, protest about the owners and all of the rest of it, flirting with what could be. And I'd say the biggest thing for me as an Arsenal fan is that we're competitive again. Because that's something which you have to be. You know, Chelsea will hit back. Newcastle will get better. United will at some point get it back together. Liverpool always going to be in and around. That's a free kick. Surely there's no advantage there, ref. And he has realised that. Everyone but Spurs, they've never did it. So we have to relish this. I've said it before, like the top six or the traditional top six, it's going to become a top 10 in maybe 30, 40 years with the way the game's going. I'm only 29, but probably after my time, there'll be a time where anyone from 1st to 20th could win a title. I would accept an offer for Partey and sign Fofana, and I'd go for Paqueta, reunite his partnership with Rice. Paqueta would be a good signing in that 8 for us. I just think he's going City, same way with Bruno Gomares. Leverkusen's ball into the box. Can they nick one back? No. I just think there are too many excuses made for Arteta. I'm definitely not Arteta out, but you've got to acknowledge where he's lacked domestic cups specifically. We need to go for them. He hasn't. And that's what I mean. Like, I think you're intellectually dishonest if you just blow hot smoke up Mikel Arteta's ass and don't talk about things where he could have improved. Because for me, if I rate him this much, it's like Saka. I rate Saka. So if you, God forbid, but if you weren't to get double figures again this season, we're going to say what's going on. But there's a lot of vested interest. Some people will just, you know, just want to be right. So they'll die on that hill. Some people just want to be right about him out. So they die on that hill. What I do hope is that he signs a new deal. But I don't back Mikel Arteta religiously. I don't think he's earned that. I probably did back Arsene Wenger up until a point, 2014, 15-ish, when I felt he probably should have left when we beat Hull religiously. If Jurgen Klopp had them, because I do think some Liverpool fans were asking questions of Klopp, you know, but he's kind of earned that to be back to a degree. Every now and again, City fans aren't even happy with Pep occasionally. Mad, innit? Big up City fans for pretending there's anything wrong in their universe of supporting the football team. Creep miners. That's one mad change in life. If you told me as a little kid that Man City be doing this and Arsenal will go 20 odd years without a trophy when I'm without a significant one when I'm looking at Henry and all these guys, I would have said you're chatting the most nonsense there is. Edison, who's had a great game, curse of the commentator. Was that a pass or a shot? Gasperini getting vexed, probably telling them I've been to 2-3 finals and not one, and you man got me 2-0 up. Holding on to players who are nowhere near good enough, like Cedric, El Nene, Eddie, Reese, and others need to get ruthless. This upcoming season needs to be season of actions towards trophies, Prem and a cup. No trophies, no excuses. Uncomfortable conversations will have to run. Trophies are not a guarantee, but I'm with you with that, man. And that there needs to be a proper thing. But let's be honest, like, especially whether it's pundits, whether it's social media, whether it's YouTubers like myself, no shade. Everyone can say what they want. Like I said, I don't necessarily care if you're Arteta in or out. But there's a lot of vested interest and a lot of the conversations around football, you know, even probably Man United with Ten Hag. It's just engagements. I don't see why people are so gassed on Bruno. He's had a great season, 100 million, really. I know he paid that for Declan, but he's a better player who's consistently done it for 5 years. Gary, I can't lie, I believe wholeheartedly in Bruno Gomares. I'm not really on paying 100 million for him, but I wouldn't be mad if we did. I wonder if Barca would sell Gavi. Barca would have to be smoking. Paqueta ain't all that. He's good for West Ham, but I think Spurs, Villa, Man U, Newcastle is his level right about now. Cap. I don't think Paqueta will ever be the standout guy, but he's definitely a Champions League level footballer. I didn't always believe it. I didn't always believe in Gomares. I wasn't convinced with Paqueta at AC Milan. Boniface has done quite poor there, and he's handed it back to Edison, who's actually giving it back to Leverkusen. Just under half an hour. It's been better from Leverkusen, but it's not about being better. It's about putting the ball in the back of the net. Wirtz should have wrapped that with his left peg. Uses his left peg to deliver a cross. Brave goalkeeping from the Atalanta, man. Pardon me. Ancelotti freestyle ball with this squad is intriguing. But what happened to the links to Camavinga? The person who was doing the clickbait articles probably got bored. We can't have it all. Do we want trophies? Then you can't play kids in cups. If you want to win, then kids don't play simple as. I hear that, but when you look around the squad, yeah, what kids? I'm not even saying necessarily gay, but like, what kids? Like, because it wasn't like the Wenger thing where a bunch of the Highlanders are just going to roll out there and you literally have never heard of these players before, like significantly experienced guys, or then the actual use. I know Nelson, you're probably referring to people like Nelson, but they're not kids anymore, though. Bruno's done it for a few seasons, to be fair, 3 seasons in, and I think he's 30. It's more of a CV than Caicedo had when we were begging for him at a point instead of Rice at one. But speak for yourself. I was saying I was happy with Caicedo. I was with you to the last one, but no. I wanted Rice. I didn't know he'd be this good, but I did want him. Cozier for me if he stays, get him up. Bro, Cozier Dewberry, next season you need to be playing men's football of some capacity, somewhere, somehow. Just like Walters, wherever these men go. Company go in buying. Don't let us down, man. Don't let the culture down, you know. Don't go, because you see, if you have a season like Thomas Tuchel, it'd be very different. I don't trust Company though, man. He said Lila Conga's the next Yaya Toure. Take him with you. Ademola Lookman. Good play from this defender here for Atalanta. Edison had a solid game. Very solid game, as Gary said. Arteta needs to give chances to fringe players and academy boys to play the Carabao tournament. I would like to see more youngsters given more of an opportunity. I think Arteta could improve in that regards. But at the same time, as we get better as a club, there's going to be less opportunity. How many young players are, for as good as Chelsea's academy is, how many get consistent football? Is sink or swim. City, how many? Yeah, people get debuts. And I think everyone can't have it every way. And this is where I feel a bit sorry for Arteta, because people want you to sign stars, but play all the young players and rotate everybody, but then make sure the best players play and win everything and don't lose anything. Like, I mean, it's Arsenal Football Club. It's a big club. This is a territory. You know, the job is self-explanatory, but you really can't win unless you win the game. I hear that. I wanted Caicedo in January. Hincapie clears his lines. No, he doesn't. It meets the Atalanta head. Be a shame if Atalanta got a third. But what else you lot saying? Shout out Kai Havertz, man. Ooh, I wouldn't pay 100 million for Kimmich. Bruno's a bit younger, man. That's crazy. Watching the NBA playoffs got me thinking we need an Ant Edwards in our squad. You're a madman. What else have we got? We did have Van Persie, Henry, and Reyes at one point. Such is life. The football's changed, but I do miss the days like when we would sign random players and they would be lit. Like we went like even the ones that would make no sense, like with the interesting stories, like you've got a Brazilian playing for Croatia and he's left-footed and he's wavy and Eduardo. What I actually think, it's unfortunate when you think of Eduardo, you think of that injury, innit? They were dangerous times to be an Arsenal footballer. And this is how the media is dangerous, because for years we've even now, well, no, that's lies. In the last 2 years, it probably is gone. But for the past 10, 15 years recently, you know, Arsenal are soft touch, this and that. This has resulted in several players, Ramsey, Diaby, Sly, who else has broke their leg? Eduardo, like I said, like serious injuries. It's absolutely shocking. Bruno is good, but I don't think moves the needle. We won't be an any better team than we are now. That is harsh. I want to see Ethan and Lewis Skelly. Beyond that, there's not too many of our youth that are ready for the first team integration. There you have it. The better we get, the less opportunities there are, essentially. Our young midfielders have always been getting their legs snapped, Wilshere and Ramsey as well. I think Arteta has PTSD from that era with all the big tough lads we've been buying. I don't think Arteta's on the youth thing like that. And I'm not even saying that to criticize him. I think if you're good enough, in theory, you'll get chances. I think if you're on the Bakai, well, saying that, Martinelli, he integrated at the right time. Saliba, Saka is getting better and better. Odegaard's there. I don't think he's on like the spring ducklings, like the fresh newborn straight out of the academy. I think if you're on the Ethan thing, you might get your opportunity. If you're one of them kind of youngsters that, you know, you once in a kind of scholarship generational kind of thing, I don't think he's on just giving youngsters game time like that. Come on, man. Look, we saw Marcelo, Flores, Mika Beref, Amari, all of them on the bench. None of them playing. And I can't blame Arteta to a degree. There's been incidences. Yes, you could have given debuts. He gave Charlie his debut. But at the same time, people want to see us try to win stuff. Edu has done some lazy scouting over the years. Tavares, Denis Suarez, Lokonga, Fabio. I said Verts' watch is fake. That's harsh. Arshavin came out of nowhere. I still call Arshavin a big money signing for me. Because he did feel like it at the time. Who did he score that goal against? Was it Blackburn from the acute angle? His goal against Blackburn, his goal against Barcelona, the 4 against Liverpool. What a player Arshavin was, man. Probably got a bit too chubby and rubbed out, but yeah, good player for us. Arteta played the B team versus West Ham in the league, and we got battered. Depth is too thin. Depth is way too thin, man. And we keep saying the same things. Granit Xhaka, 20 minutes left, folks. Verts, ooh, skips past Koopman. Surely he's booked now. Surely Koopman is booked. And he's taking a yellow card for the cause. Big up American Gunner, CEO. Agreed, DG. That's not Mikel's game. Never will be. You have to be very high level, even at youth, to get game time from him. Calm with that. Listen, I always want the guys to come through. And I think Arsenal, I think Arsenal could do a better job at whether these players are going to make it at this club or not. Doing a bit like what City and Chelsea do, because they set you up to be all right. Like, still selling players for 20 odd million or whatever. And I know it's not all the same, but there should be a scenario where if Koza Jury's leaving, we're getting bread. Young Waters is leaving for free. Yes, we might get compensation, but we're patterning, we're getting some bread. A bit like what we did with Balogun. We've manipulated the situation. You're not gonna make it here, cool. Yes, the club can point towards, Iwobi sold for decent money, Joe Willock, decent money, Balogun, decent money. But then you look at people like Ainsley Maitland-Niles, where we should have taken the money a long time ago. Jada Silva to Brentford, he's playing Premier League football. Nathan Teller as well, which these things happen, and football's a funny old game because couldn't get a pro deal at Arsenal. He must be on the bench today, and even that, he's been part of an unbeaten season in the Bundesliga. So we need to get better at that. Whether these players go on to have a good career or not, our academy should be designed to progress players to the first team, which on the face of it, whatever people got to say, Eddie's there, Saka's there, Smith Rowe's there, Nelson's there, might even be missing out one. You can go all out for the Prem, but Carabao Cup would be nice. We mocked it against West Ham, playing a team of kids. Same with City a year previously in the FA Cup. I just want us to take these comps seriously and go win them trophies. I was just about to say that Hutchinson has been balling out. He definitely could have done a better job than Nelson, 100%. And even if you don't make it at Chelsea, you've set yourself up. You have gone out, at Arsenal. The loan spell could have worked. You look at Mika Beref. A couple people have had good loan spells this year. But Chelsea had an evident plan. You've gone Ipswich. You've been promoted. Probably not going to get your opportunity at Chelsea, but if you do, great. If not, you're hearing Ajax are interested you, etc., etc. Keep it moving. It's a win-win for all parties. Florian Wirtz, Scalvini, come on, my defender, generational. Got out of there with ease, generational. Video on you landed, generational. He gave the ball away shamelessly, but yeah. Sometimes it just doesn't work. The way I'd put it, but overall system needs to improve. But I don't put that on Arteta. He's got games to win. Our youth system needs to improve overall. Yeah, get better at selling. And selfishly, I don't know how you change it, but I do want our academy to kind of like, you look at some other teams' academy, obviously everybody wants to wax lyrical about the attackers, but it feels like at other clubs, it don't really matter if you're a defender or whatever, like you're going to come through and there's something there. I would like to see some all-rounders because as much as I like, the Ethans, the Sackers, if a humble right back or something could just come from the academy, a humble high level, like imagine big up Tomiyasu, he's a good player, but just imagine a humble Tomiyasu ilk kind of player just came through Arsenal system. You've plugged the gap, saved us some money, and we keep it moving. The ref needs to get control of this game, people. What would be your priority signing this summer, DG? Central midfield / striker, same level. If I'm honest. Tierney, Tavares, Lokonga were interim signings to get us to where we need to be before they got shipped out like reduced. Sainsbury's, Sam Rose. I hear it. Bit harsh on Tierney because his thing was I just think the evolution of this side is what it is with Tierney. You can't really do what's required in the Arteta system. Tavares, to be fair, Arteta knew that was a dud because if you go back when Tavares signed, he said in one of his press conferences, he said that was a scout signing. He weren't trying to co-sign that. And, you know, I'll always give a player great pass into Frimpong. Can he get a shot away? Squares it to a deal. Same old from Leverkusen. I'll always give a player an opportunity. But I told you, look, Tavares, it was never going to be a success. Not because I'm some genius or whatever, but I'm a Sunday League fullback. I remember sitting here and reading the Tavares interview with you, lot. Bearing in mind he's a defender. Pardon me. Yes, the modern day tool, you know, you need to be able to contribute in the final third. But if a defender does not say anything about, I like to defend 1v1, I like clean sheets. If they don't say anything like that, for me, alarm bells. He mentioned, I like shooting with my right foot. And don't get twisted. I remember when some Arsenal fans used to overrate Tavares in the final third. And I used to have mad debates on my live streams where there's no point being all fast and that if you're getting into the final third and there's two good passes, but you're hitting it and it's going over the bar. Even that, Tavares as a left winger, it's not going to bang. There's a reason you became a left back from one failed winger to another. What's your thoughts on Somerville? Had a good season in the Championship, drawing interest from a number of Italian clubs, to be fair. A winger, Saka can't play every game again next season. He's going to burn out. Essential game. That Sly spelt Marseille had a few man questioning whether he was a defender the entire time. Again, yeah, and all his highlights, the majority of them were him scoring goals. It weren't, nobody could rise up when he played well. Oh, it's 3-0. Blink, can you miss it? Ademola Lookman has a hat-trick. Game, set, match, Xavi Alonso. It's time to go home. I'm sure Xavi Alonso was actually there when Liverpool came back from 3-0 down, but I don't even think you can help. Horrible. Look. Tatsoba, unaware of Ademola Lookman. Skamaka take a bow. Lookman, he's living a movie, bro. Like, a man has scored a hat-trick in the final. This is something out of, what was that movie called? Like Goal or something. This is things you see in the movies. Shifted it onto his left foot. Taps over, no chance. Keeper, forget about it. If you're Italian, make some noise. If you're German, boy, might be time to find a rave because there's no football being played at the moment. It's serious effort. Serious effort. Three of the best. Shout out Gasperini. He's going mad. Boy. And put himself that, bro, my man has to be an Atalanta legend now then. Has to be an Atalanta legend. A hat-trick in the final. Boy, there's going to be bare Italian kids made today called Ademola for no reason. People in school in 20 years will look at him weird, like, peculiar name. Lookman's first yards of pace are blisteringly quick. And you can see the confidence he's playing with. Because you look into his eyes, you can see like he knows what he's doing. This ain't Bundesliga open transition league. When you play tactical dons, this is what happens. Now that shift onto his left, proper baller. That first step to his left after the stopover was elite, real separation. Atalanta have really fraud checked at Leverkusen, I can't lie. Not a single bit of this performance has been convincing. But saw his name in lights, name is in lights. His DMs are going to be crazy. Hella hey strangers. Sack Alonso. Man said, look my video. Nah. I think certain YouTubers said they don't rate him once, you know. So I'm trying to shit on YouTube, but he's playing the cup final. That's not fair. Subs too late from Alonso, in my opinion. They need a Hoffman for this game. He's such an intelligent baller. Boy, they can be proud of their season, but boy, I said Frimpong is one decap motor dead food. I like Frimpong, but serious, boy, uncomfortable conversations. Bro, my man looks stressed. It's peak. 3-0 in the final. They're moving like me in Football Manager. This is crazy. There's no restart though, like in that game. Would you sell on Nketiah? And if so, do you think he'll get a Prem move? He's linked with a lot of Prem clubs, so why not? Yeah, shot that. I hear you, Cyrus, but I do think people do too much with rotation. Yes, there's evident cases for why our players look tired. You look at the Villa game for me, but there's no point resting players for the sake of it. And Arteta is very right when he says, you know, the majority of players are playing 70 games a season. And if life was fair, we'd all have a lot less. If we was, of course, we'd love a 20-man squad of world-class players. It doesn't really matter. But then you would see a lack of fluidity. The best players have to play. As long as they're doing their recovery and whatnot. If we rotated a lot of the time where fans say, we would not be second. But generally we do. Edison goes for the shot. And again, it's already embarrassing for Leverkusen. 3-0 is embarrassing. Past the pad settings. If you were playing FIFA with your friends, you're off the console. But 4-0 is unthinkable. Like, come on. Boniface. I know he's just coming back from injury, but he's looking funny in the lights as well. Hines had a very good game today, and he's been colossal. And they're quite fortunate that Alamola Lookman could not bring that under control, or he might have been doing the archiving for over there. Thoughts on João Neves? Like him a lot. Lookman was one of your best players in AFCON. What are you talking about? Okay. Remember when we linked with Sasha? One thing I've seen is he's poor defensively. But yeah. Kalajinac FC, fair play, man. 4th time lucky for Gasperini. In life, you have to keep going, man. As always, anyone in this game, you take at Arsenal, DG. Coop Miners, Verts. The Ademola Lookman of this 79 minutes. Lookman was playing Sunday League at 16, rejected by so many academies. Have to respect the hero. You have to, bro. Man's played for Nigeria in AFCON, playing in a top 5 division, scored a hat trick in a European Cup final. Dreams really do happen sometimes, man. Eze as well got released. I'm sure he's working in Tesco's at one point. Now he's on the cusp of going to the Euros. Patrick, shit, meaty guy, man. Vert's coming off. You learn a lot, man. Oh, my bad, K, man. Lookman is basically a much braver Nketiah. Nah, he's got way more technical ability than Nketiah, in my opinion. Frimpong off, Taylor on. Hope he scores from Halen. See Frimpong? Zip it. See what happens. You're not humble. Game, set, match. People were talking about how could we lose to Atalanta. Come on, man. Look at these guys. Well coached and well drilled. Big up Atalanta, man. Someone said earlier who's the worst Arsenal player this decade. It has to be Mustafi. He was just off key. Last 14 years. 14. Last 10 years. So 2014. Yeah, Mustafi. But there was a point we were unbeaten with Mustafi. A shout. I don't want to do him like that, though, man. There must be worse. Come on, Tavares is pretty awful. Tavares up there. In fact, I'm saying Tavares was worse than Mustafi. And I don't like Mustafi in an Arsenal shirt. I'll never forgive him for Sergio Aguero bearing down on our goal in a cup final at Wembley. He's got his hands up like a wanker. But Tavares is pretty damn terrible. Therefore, Ospina was horrible. And some of you Arsenal fans tried to... Sometimes Arsenal fans try to gaslight you into rating some crap players. Ospina was crap. You look, no, I don't call players crap. Ospina genuinely was crap. Can't believe people rating him. You think I can... Was it against Swansea where he scored that corner? Callum Chambers went outside. To be fair, big up Holding for the FA Cup, but he was kind of horrible. That has to be the first kind of significant chance for Atalanta today, and it's only resulted in a corner. What happened to the 3-1 prediction, DG? It's gone in the wind. But to be fair, correct score, not necessarily. Ronison, 100%, 100%. Jenkinson went here in 2014, though, was he? It was time flown that much. No, Santos not the worst, but he was just bookie, man. It probably is Ronison. To be fair, Spina, you caught live. Chambers was dead, but he didn't go out like this. Frimpong was dead, he didn't go out like that. Marie was dead. Hey, Marie's up there. Marie, Mustafi, Nuno, they're up there. In terms of the ability, Williams not up there, but from what we saw in an Arsenal shirt, 100%. This isn't as big as the English Super Cup, but it's noteworthy nonetheless. Fair play to Atalanta. I hear it, man. It's shameless, but I hear it. Edu needs to look at Lookman for getting that on. Taxes, man. I'm not sure. Skamaka coming off. Unlucky not to get on the score sheet today. Substitutes for Atalanta Brewing. Boy. People talking about these lot being better than the Invincibles. To be fair, they've done what the Invincibles failed to do and get to a final in Europe. Not that I'll slander them, but yeah. Big up his little brother. Hope he's as good as him. But shout out Gasparini, man. Zappa Costa's off, about to win his second Europa League. But hey, it's all gone wrong for Leverkusen, isn't it? It's the worst. I mean, there's never an ideal way of losing a cup final, but 3-0. It's pretty much not gone to plan. Boy, it's absolutely terrible. Stress if you support Leverkusen, isn't it? So you think Spurs or Chelsea are destined to win the Europa next year? Spurs are crumbling in that, man. Chelsea got more of a chance. I just seen that strike from Lookman. Bloody hell, he hit that well. Which one? All three were good, well-taken strikes. But, I mean, expecting to rock up against it, not saying you're saying this, but if you're genuinely playing any Italian side and you expect them not to be organised, it's a myth. There's no need for Arsenal to sign Dybala, bro. He's not going to help us. Great player, quality player, you know, on that basis alone, if it was just that great, but don't really fix anything. You can play up front. You ain't really got a strong catalogue of goals like that. Yes, there's been seasons you've scored goals. You can play in the 10 as well. There's Odegaard. We're just buying you because you're a great footballer with a wonderful left foot. There's not really a need. I thought Alonso was the greatest thing since sliced bread. Marie Bentner, Sonogo. Shout out Sonogo. I'll never diss him, man. He helped us en route to Wembley, even though he was dead. Had our fair share of horrible players. Ooh! Okay, the Atalanta centre-half blushes are spared. Completely sliced the ball. Leverkusen still have possession here. 3-0, you know. Granit, you have to go for the shot. Plays it to Teller. Teller delivers. Corner kick. But it was horrible. And he went outside. Leverkusen defence has been shaky this season. Boy, could scumbag it domestically. There's no hiding place in Europe, man. Masterclass. And they're 3-0 up. Of course they deserve to win. At least mess up the clean sheet if you're a Leverkusen fan. Travelled all this way to the final, spent how much money on accommodation and a ticket, and your team won't even score. Surely that's a foul. Ref doesn't agree. Chambers was doing well in his last year. Remember that volley cross to Gabby and he scored. They did understand the assignment, and that's why these lot are gone, man. 13 goals, 9 assists this season. Robbed of a spot in the Argentina squad. Unwilling to fly out some propaganda. The ball is cold, but it's a no from me, man. United, man. United fans will get excited. Just came back to remind you. I said this: unbeaten form buying is not what you guys thought it was. Probably, but not what they thought it was. Life is cruel, though, man. 2 L's in the European Cup final for Granit. But we got to remember these man won a league title. Say what you want about them. How many people win the league title for all the active players across all leagues? Much less the German league. Didn't Chambers go Villa? He did. Did he? I don't feel like he went Aston Villa straight away from Arsenal, you know. Callum Chambers. None of them Southampton players are really doing that well for themselves or that crop. But to be fair, Ward-Prowse is at West Ham. Luke Shaw is technically at Manchester United. And Chambers technically got an England cap. Oh, you did? No, that's why I think you didn't go straight to Villa, because you went Middlesbrough and Fulham on loan. Boy, shout out Callum Chambers, man. Boy, the amount of times I saw Mane and Salah destroy them. DG, if you had to pick which striker do you want this summer, Sesko or Isaac? On ability, Isaac. But all things considered, Sesko. Scalvini is welcome on Arsenal's bench any day. Javinho was a waste of time if you ask me. No end product. Won a league title unbeaten too, not even buying done that, which is lit. Go down in folklore, but shows you can't be greedy in life. Can't have your cake and eat it, man. Because it would have been nice for them, I guess, to be European champions as well. Granit Xhaka. Must admit, even Granit's flattered to deceive today. Delivers a ball into the box. Shit can't get there. Can form a Haaland Teller. He's competing. And again, Atalanta just doing better. Oh, that was a good. Hey, Lookman, you must have been watching Ronaldinho videos today. You must have. Ronaldinho videos and Snap Capone because you're moving correct. You understood the assignment. If Arsenal in Europa League would have scored, do you think we would win it? We've been here before. Our European heritage is scary. It's filled with pain. Hella juggle, Benito. Boy, tell her. At this point, it's Sean Dyche and Sam Allardyce settings. Just put the ball in the box. It's 2 minutes left. That's over. I only feel sorry for Leverkusen's Hincapie. He went out like a G. The rest, so-so at best. Atalanta's Gasperini about to win a Europa League trophy. Don't forget, we will be watching the FA Cup final, people, on Saturday. It kicks off at 3, so I'll be live at 2:50. Then next week, we're watching the Champions League, where I'm sure if you support Borussia Dortmund, you're hoping that they fare a lot better than this current German side. They could be in it. Oh, that's a pen ref. Oh, what a series of unfortunate events. I did see a replay. To be fair, Leverkusen have a pen shot. Oh, Lookman, you're greedy. You did play the pass eventually, but that pass needed to go 10 years ago. And there could be a fourth about to be scored here. If my man gets his head up, see, this is why you're on the bench. You made it all about you. You got dreads. Cut your hair. You would have seen your teammate, mate. Surely that's a pen. Very odd. Like, surely that should be a pen for Leverkusen. The ref has said stop. Surely that's a pen. That was a Mazzolini. Scalvini, we was pushing propaganda, but you see, as a young centre-half, you have to learn. It's peak. Penalty check. It's peak. It's peak in the 90th minute. That was bookie. You can't get away with them. Do you not think that was a... Oh, he's onside as well. Do you know what? It was a series of unfortunate events because 2 Atalanta players have crashed into each other. Scalvini showed his age there. His body positioning is all wrong, and he has conceded the foul. I think they might get away with it, you know. Check over. I think they got away with it. Boy, they got away with it. DJ, I've been wanting to ask you, are you in favour of VAR being scrapped or not? Nah, man. There's no... What's the point of scrapping VAR? Regani will be coming off people. Rather than to look at how they're implementing it and their practices around drawing lines, and when they're drawing lines, respectfully, if you're dyslexic, like 1 minute it's dyslexic lines, like it's not straight. The implementation of it, it's not making sense. Surely not another comeback. Nah, like unless you got 3 goals in 4 minutes. 4 minutes of added on time. Yeah, United got Zang still. How do you get away with serious Italian job by Atalanta right now? How do you get away with that? Surely a pen shout. I don't know how you feel as a Leverkusen player. Just have to take a shower, get some white rum and go to bed, man. There's nothing else you could do. Right, saw news stories today about how Leverkusen players have forgotten how to lose. They're going to learn today. How come we don't use the same as the Champions League? What do you mean? If we get our transfers right and get the needed players, we should be okay. Next season, we should be ruthless, especially against the top 6. Amen. Hope so. They're never consistent in the VAR room and will never sack themselves, right? They don't want consistency. They want drama. It adds to the... I might be a conspiracy theorist, but there's too much money in the game. There's too much at risk for this level of inconsistencies. How many times, like, let's just say this was a Premier League game, that penalty, you know, if that pen happened, if that penalty incident that was ruled out here happened in 2 Premier League games, they're 2 very different outcomes. They want the drama. They don't want it being used in the right way. And it's only going to get worse. I'm an Arsenal fan. You know, I would have loved to have had VAR in the days when Sir Alex Ferguson was running a mock of this league, take nothing away from him. Look at how our unbeaten record ended. The amount of scandalous decisions in that. No VAR would be terrible. So I'd rather them just, as stupid as it is, just keep it, man. There's too much money in football and too much money in the Premier League for any of these things to be a coincidence. Think about it, people. There's way too much at stake. Ooh. I mean, don't matter if you're doing skills, it don't help. And you've given it straight to Ademola Lookman, who's man's keeping the match ball in the final. Wavy settings. Slightly more goals than my legend. Conspiracy analyst DG. It's got to be, man. Come on, it's dodgy. Why don't they ever mic up the rest / VAR? I mean, we'd love that to happen. And you've got the double whammy in that. Oh, look, they're boying it. 30 seconds left and they're singing. Hey, Gasparini's boying it. The game's not even done, man. Are doing all of this. Oh, yeah, I hear it. Boy, he's saying, Xabi Alonso, I don't care about you new kids. Get out of here, mate. Oh, good Leverkusen's Boniface being here. First touch was good. Sums up their day. Oh, horrible touch from you. Ref. They're done, man. Better than Invincibles, you know. What are you saying, DG? Who banned me from your YouTube page? No clue. But on a regular basis, I unbanned everyone who's thinking we need the engagement. When City is going to get them points deducted, though, DG, is that real? They ain't getting nothing. The game has finished, people. Atalanta 3, Leverkusen 0. They have won the Europa League final. Ademola Lookman, the guy from Peckham, with a hat-trick. Big up Gasparini. And you can see the mixed emotions, the jubilations from the Atalanta players, the dejectedness from the Leverkusen players. Is peak. Granit, unlucky. Big up Kolasinac. Boy. Guys are throwing water on Lookman and dashing him in the sky. I see free and that. This is crazy. Where's the Henny? What's going on here, mate? So, yeah, man. Good analysis. Appreciate that. South Londoners always want to tell you about South London. We get it. We get it. South London hype. If it was so good, Arsenal wouldn't have left. But you lot have always been in top form as you normally are, people. It's been a fantastic live stream. Let me stop boring you lot, people. As usual, you lot's talking points, your engagements, everything's been amazing. Again, make sure you're subscribing. If you haven't, turn on the notification bells because I'm sure there's videos out before you know it. I'm off to go edit some. What else have we got? Saturday, we're watching the FA Cup final. Next week, we'll be watching the Champions League final. When the Euros are kicking, we're doing watch-alongs as well. So the season might be dead, but we're still out here. You lot stay safe, stay blessed. And yeah, man, in honor of Ademola Lookman's great finishes, from one London guy to another.
Against this right back, Charlie.
One love, folks. Peace.
I've been given like